January 2nd. Happy New Year. Unsportsmanlike is next. It's ESPN Radio.
Hi, this is Evan Cohen. Join us Thursday, 6 a.m. Eastern for Unsportsmanlike. Texas survives a wild double overtime win over Arizona State in the college football playoff. Did they show us enough to think they can advance in the semis? We'll discuss Thursday, 6 a.m. Eastern, Unsportsmanlike, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen.
Andrew Salciunas. This is Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Well, the decision was made. Some might say the correct decision was made, but that's what sports talk radio is all about. It is filled with debate. Saquan Barkley will not be playing on Sunday, and for the first time in a while, I get to chop things up with my man John Kincade. It is Kincade and Salciunas.
Is this mic on?
Yeah, it's working. I'll probably shut it off soon. 97.5 The Fanatic.
This is Kincade and Salciunas.
NFC East Division Champion 2 seed.
I'm celebrating it, but bigger picture. The whole team says it, so why can't I say
Okay,
it?
well, the whole team has to go back to practice. We get a week. We get 2 weeks to go ahead and celebrate this, winning the division.
Yeah, but you're acting like I didn't celebrate that 4 weeks ago when I already knew that this was going to happen.
Kincade and Salciunas. John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And a good Thursday morning, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salciunas alongside my man. Wow. Feels like it's been a year since I've seen him. John
It has been a
Kincade.
year. It's actually Happy New Year.
Johnny, happy birthday. Merry Christmas. Merry
to
Christmas
see you.
Eve. Merry New Year's Eve. Merry New
everything.
Year.
Good to
All
see
those
you.
things that I have not been able to see you and celebrate. So welcome
Yes.
back.
It is great to be back and exciting about hearing what we're going to be able to celebrate. I heard you and Connor there in the Open, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, I mean, come on. We're celebrating division titles?
Oh, I'm not.
I mean, good. Okay.
It's a bigger picture.
Good.
Connor was already he was half naked when that clip was playing.
Oh, sorry. I like winning the NFC East.
Did Connor pop a bottle?
He's done
that's one of his
that. He's done
Nah,
that
no
before.
champagne.
He's
yet.
done those before.
He's
Good.
done
There's
that
no.
before.
We will find out when Connor thinks champagne should be popped.
Yes, at some
find
point.
that out
We don't
a little
know
later.
when they're playing yet. The first round could be Saturday or Sunday.
Got some
of
good
next
information
week.
on that yesterday, so we'll share that a little bit later.
We will. But of course, the lead today. The decision was made yesterday. Nick Seriani had his press conference and told the media and told the world, the Eagles fans, national media, local media, you name it, that Saquan Barkley will not be playing Sunday against the New York Giants. He will not be going after the rushing record of Eric Dickerson. He is 100 yards away from tying Eric Dickerson, 101 yards away from beating it. And, of course, it's not just Saquon Barkley. We don't know the list of players that will be inactive yet, but we do know that Saquon Barkley officially will not be playing on Sunday. So let's hear from the head coach first before we discuss this. Now, I had the chance to talk about this on Monday following the Eagles beat down to the Cowboys, in which John was at with his daughter. Beautiful day for him and his daughter, and I'm glad that you guys had such a great day.
God, it was a great day.
60 degrees, by the way, which is amazing. But you have not had a chance to react to anything yet, so we'll hear all your thoughts. But here's Nick Sirianni making the official announcement yesterday that Saquon Barkley will not be playing on Sunday.
We're going to rest some guys. No, we're locked into that number 2 seeds. We're going to rest some guys. There's going to be some guys that are resting. There are going to be some guys that are in reserve roles. You can't obviously rest everybody with the roster. And so that's our plan moving in here forward.
And, of course, that also included Saquon Barkley. So one of the follow-up questions was what went into the consideration to either let Saquon try to break the record or obviously sit him Week 18, give him that bye week because they're not going to get it in the first round of the playoffs now that the 1 seed is out of grabs. Here he is talking about that.
Obviously, it's a very special record that's been, standing for a very long time by a great player. It's a team record that everybody's involved in. So you weigh in all those things, but at the end of the day, you just try to do what's best for the team.
Now, Johnny, I was very much in favor of him not playing. And I was very vocal about that last Sunday. And I know that pissed a lot of people off because it was so fun that the Eagles beat the Cowboys as much as they did.
Yeah.
He surpasses 2,000 rushing yards. Everybody's in such a great mood. And here I am tweeting, hey, can you take him out of the game? Please? Because this game's over.
Wait a minute. Did you tweet? Because I was not on my phone.
Yes, that's good.
Were you tweeting during the game when he had not broken 2,000
Correct.
yet? Okay, you're nuts.
I don't believe that I am because
I
it's
think
great
you're
that
nuts.
he was going to get to 2,000. I was more concerned about his health and his fresh legs and everything for the playoff run. But I'm curious, John, where you were coming out of the game Sunday. We know that he got to 2,000, right? So
Sure.
he got to the mark that a lot of people celebrated. But people were wanting more. So I'm curious, where are you falling when it comes to the decision made by Nick Sirianni and the team yesterday that Saquon Barkley will not be playing Sunday against the Giants?
All right, and we're not doing the sports radio thing here where we're taking one side against the other because in reality, I will tell you flat out, if I was Nick Sirianni, right now I'd be probably 55-45 that I would do what he did. But I swear to you, I don't have an answer because there's so many different factors involved in it. And to me, one of them is the idea that I find the people who are on the side of you've got to shut Saquon down. It's the only thing to do. It's the right thing to do. There's no other option.
Oh, it is the right thing.
I find them so insufferable.
Oh, good.
And I hope it's not you.
We've made it 2 days into the new year. I'm insufferable.
I find it so insufferable that people are like, there's only one right answer to this. There's only one right answer. No, there's not. And we have tons and tons of evidence over the years, NFL Super Bowl champions, where it's not that simple. and I will say it again, though, because I'm not going to do the sports radio thing. Hey, Andrew thinks one thing, John thinks the other.
Not.
I would lean right now if I was Nick Sirianni. If you put a gun to my head right now and said, you got to make a call, I'd say very begrudgingly, okay, sit him. Okay, sit him. So there it is. But I am not in the boat of this is absolutely the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do. There are so many reasons, and we'll get into them in the course of the show today. But to me, it's the idea that I listened to Bill Belichick the other day, who rarely sat players, even when his team ran away with their division and the number one seed many years. And he was just like, how do you tell which starters to stop, to sit? Oh, so you're valuable to me, but you're not. So we're resting him. He needs this rest. But you, who is less of a star player, you don't need rest. He didn't feel comfortable with it.
You don't think the team, like let's say Rick Lovato, who's one of your starters, realizes, yeah, you know what, Saquon should probably get the rest. I'll be okay doing some long snapping.
Well, if you want to get to Lovato, if we're going to get to stuff like that.
There's some players that understand where they are when it comes to the pecking order.
That's fine. But there's some guys who are very much on the margins, who it's like, okay, so he's getting off. They're not worried about me getting injured. They're not worried about – not all the starters can sit. So, in other words, it's just the star students can sit.
Well, no, there's going to be the 6 players that will be inactive. I imagine Jalen Hurts
who are yours right now?
The offensive line and Saquon.
Okay, no. You got 6.
Yeah.
You got to go 6. So you're going Hertz
offensive
is
line
one.
and Saquon. No. He's the emergency third quarterback.
He's the emergency
so
third. Okay, so that's 7. That's a good one. So you're going with them, and then that's what it is.
And then,
so AJ's dressing.
Yeah, and you know what? You're not going to play. You don't have to play. So Jahan Dotson's your wide receiver 1.
So is Devontae Smith playing?
No, he's
because how are you going to have enough? How are you going to have enough people to cover the snaps?
You can make it work. You can make it work.
I'm fascinated by this
your
math.
Third string guys that are now starting, like Jalen.
So you're letting them play every snap.
Yeah, some guys, yeah.
Even though you don't do that to any other player, like at any time on those stuff.
Well, like a guy like Trevor Keegan, who was not dressed for a game all season long. Yeah, he can play every single snap, and I'm sure he would be thrilled to play every single snap in an NFL game. I'm sure there is a third string. Tristan McCollum can play every snap on Sunday at the safety position. I'm sure he would love to put that on tape.
And two, that this is not something that the Eagles players uniformly are in agreement on.
I know that. We have audio that we'll play through for the course of the show.
And you got guys in the room that are saying, why are we shutting this down? We got a chance to make history, including in that offensive line room.
But not everybody, John.
No, not everybody. So you go with the will of just one guy over another guy? I don't know.
No, I think it's the one guy that makes the decision, and it's the head coach. And I'm proud of Nick Sirianni for sitting there and going, I am such a player-friendly head coach, which he is, right?
This is player-friendly to the people who agree with him. This isn't player-friendly to the guys who want to go for the record.
No, the point I'm trying to make
26 wants the record.
The point that I'm trying to make is this is a guy that is always player-friendly.
Okay.
And then he decided, you know what? I'm usually player-friendly. I'm usually, go for it. Devontae Smith, we went for the rookie record back in 2021. Right. But I'm realizing today, as the head coach of this football team, despite me wearing Saquon shirts and Lane Johnson hats and Eagles underwear, as the team panderer that I am, I'm going to make what I believe is the smart decision as the CEO head coach to sit Saquon Barkley, who is the focal point of the Eagles offense.
So the rookie record meant something to Nick Sirianni to risk a guy in a meaningless game.
Everybody learns. That was in 2021.
No. Here's the thing is, though. Here's where people are going to be complete hypocrites.
Okay.
What is the number one thing that people complain and call this radio station about Nick Sirianni? His decision-making.
Okay.
So now you're going to go on the microphone and be with everybody and be like, you know what? I trust his decision-making.
I've been complaining with the Nick Sirianni decision since what? The Jacksonville game?
We've been good.
He's been on a heater. No, and I believe that continued yesterday,
We've been good on the on Nick Sirianni front since Jacksonville. It has been good. But overall, the one thing we don't trust about this man is his decision-making. Now on this one,
I trust this decision wholeheartedly.
The thing is, though,
because it's the one I wanted.
Exactly.
Well, yeah,
that's what it is.
And that's the beauty of sports talk.
No,
we all have an
is.
opinion. We all have a
It is.
side.
But now, all of a sudden, Nick Sirianni knows what's best. When in reality, the vast majority of people who text this radio station, call this radio station, the vast majority question his decision-making. Number one. It's the number one thing on their hit list of what they don't trust. And so what I'm saying to you is, I do not disagree with you vehemently that it is, I understand it, that the idea of rest him. But you heard Saquon Barkley after the game on Sunday. Rest. It's not really a rest week. He flat out said it. He goes, people say rest week.
He said it could be good, but you have to still do things during the week.
Yeah, but he said it is not. He laughed at the idea that it's a rest week. He goes, it's not a rest week. You don't have your feet up. You're still working.
Of course you're still working.
You're still doing all those things. So he scoffed at the rest week thing as far as it being, it's a big – look, this is for Saquon Barkley, and we'll get into it more later. He wants the record.
Okay.
And to me –
well, right now, for the first hour, we're trying to figure out
and I
what
think
you
it's a
want,
team record.
what I want, what Connor wants,
Right.
and you, of course, can climb in on the text line or the phone line at 610-632-0975. Now, John, you weren't in on Monday, so
I was not.
I made how the old debate days, one side gets the first 2 minutes, the other side gets the 2 minutes.
Sure.
Nobody jumps on each other. I made the case, I believe, perfectly. Connor is my witness, especially because Connor was on my side with all this.
I don't know perfectly, but it was all right.
About why not to play him. And my biggest one, John, was last year, and this is not me doing revisionist history. You could check the tape, you could check tweets, whatever. I did not want them to play starters last year in Week 18. Remember, there's still like a percentage chance that they could have, I forget what exactly it was, they could have moved up in the seeding or whatever. I did not want them to play the starters in what I believed last year was a Week 18 meaningless game, and they still had a chance to win the division at that point. A.J. Brown plays and gets hurt. Do I think that team was going to win the playoff game if A.J. Brown played? I can't look you in the eye and say they would have won if A.J. played. But
I'm glad you're not trying to do that.
But I could look you in the eye and say they would have had a better chance.
They had sucked for a month and a half.
And
I do not believe that.
My one thing that I said last year, I don't think the Eagles were the better team than the Buccaneers, but what they could have been was the more rested or healthier team. And maybe that could have been enough for one playoff game. They weren't going to win the freaking Super Bowl last year, but I was hoping that 1 week of rest could have beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then we see what happens in round 2. We would have celebrated a playoff victory. You had the same feeling I did the day we woke up for that Buccaneers game. Maybe something happens, and maybe they turn the season around. And it didn't. It was dead. The second they had no A.J. Brown, that offense was dead. They lost their starting safety in Sidney Brown last year on the very first play from scrimmage last year against the Giants. Is it a guarantee that Saquon Barkley would have gotten hurt this Sunday if he played? No, of course not. He could have broken the record, and the Eagles could have won the Super Bowl.
How many times has he carried the ball this year?
315 times.
Yeah.
14 times.
Yeah, he's played every game.
Yeah, but you know what? That is now a
now,
career high.
So now we expect that if he plays, he's going to get injured.
No, I'm not saying I expect it.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's
to
a
the
risk.
people who say it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, it's not worth the risk.
All of a sudden, you're going, that's the game he's going to get injured in?
No, it's a game that there's no need to risk it. Like the Week 18, this game means nothing. The only thing that it means something for is history and incentives. That's it. Other than that, this game does nothing for you in the seeding. It does nothing for you in the playoffs. You're not knocking somebody out. Honestly, the best thing for this game is for the Giants to win, as we've talked about, because then it would hurt their draft stock. And
Absolutely.
That's pretty much it.
And I think the Eagles hurting their draft stock would be fantastic.
So don't play Saquon. And I'm celebrating that.
Yeah, but you're also going against what players in the room want.
Not every player.
I understand. So you're picking and choosing who you want to go with?
Well, it was a tough decision, and head coach has got to make the tough decision.
And so the guy who's been your best player all year, the best guy in the locker room.
Yeah, my most important player that I need healthy for the playoffs.
You're going to ignore what he wants, and you're going to go with something else that somebody else wants. See, I'm telling you. I think it's a slippery slope because of just as far as it's not as easy as people make it out to be.
All right.
And again, as I said to you, 55-45 right now, I would lean towards doing what Nick Sirianni
If there was a
did.
gun to my head, I wouldn't even have a beat of sweat on me.
You said
I'd
when
say,
they had a problem.
nah, why put that down?
Wow.
You don't need to put that gun to my head. Like, this is an easy decision. Now, there were a lot of people, John, on Monday that were questioning how could this impact the locker room, not health, mentally.
Right.
Do you believe, like, if they lose a playoff game because they're upset that Saquon Barkley didn't get the rushing record, I would freak out if that's what it was. Like, that can't be a reason why you lose a playoff game because somebody didn't get a rushing record.
Could it be a reason that it's something that guys in the room are wanting to put on their resumes, wanting to put in their all-time? They took a lot of pride in this, the offensive line.
Yeah, no, they did.
And not all the offensive linemen want to play on Sunday. Some of them do. Some of them don't.
Some of them did just for Saquon.
Yes.
Not for, like,
no, that's
themselves.
why. No,
Yeah,
that's
for
why.
Saquon, right.
That's why. Because it's the history books. It's you're going to say greatest offensive line in the history of the game.
I could still say that
You're
if they
gonna
win the Super Bowl and they had a 2,000-yard rushing
yes,
record.
if they win the Super Bowl, they can. Yes. The idea, and just being a student of statistics, the idea that someone says to me, well, it's all about, I heard it all week, it's all about winning the Super Bowl. That there's any congruence between playing this weekend or not and winning the Super Bowl. This weekend, they rest everybody. Their chances to win the Super Bowl are not up. They're not up. There's no difference.
But if Saquon Barkley got hurt in Week 18,
well, no.
your chances plummet.
If you're going to do what ifs of what could happen,
Yes,
sure.
that's exactly why you do risk reward. We talked about the Atlanta Falcons game and why they should have ran the ball instead of throwing the ball in that play. The play worked. Saquon dropped it. But the risk reward, there's risk reward when it comes to this decision on Week 18.
How about 2 out of 3 Super Bowl champions did not have a bye? 2 out of 3 Super Bowl champions did not have a bye.
Well, they don't have a bye.
So they're making one.
Yeah.
They're making one up.
But they don't have a bye.
But it's not something you need, which is the point. You don't need a bye week to win a Super Bowl.
I would like to have a bye week. I think you can benefit from it.
It'd be great to say, oh, yeah, it's awesome. There were teams that just don't. There's guys who look at it and go, like, it's not a big deal to have a bye week. In fact, it took 25 Super Bowl champions before anyone ever had one.
Now, I'll say this. Again, our question today, how are you feeling now the decision was made? Do you agree with the decision by Nick Sirianni? Yes or no? 610-632-0975. Connor, I am fascinated that John is taking the stance that he is. And again, for people, our New Year's resolution is not, let's try to be hot take and disagree with everything.
Because I lean towards where Connor and Andrew are.
But you're so passionate.
I honestly, I could honestly go either way.
But you're usually Mr. Conservative John Kincade. Like, I'm shocked that John, of all people, is more upset about
because this isn't Joel Embiid winning the MVP. This is an all-time record that has stood for 4 decades. That is literally the pantheon of the NFL record. It's different. It's different.
Connor?
Well, John, you've said many times on these airwaves, one thing that you want to do is you want to see another parade in this city.
I do.
That is your ultimate goal.
That is my ultimate goal.
They
That is
throw
the
in a
ultimate
parade.
check.
He wants to work a parade. That's the ultimate goal.
They throw
work the parade.
They throw in a parade for Saquon getting the all-time rushing record?
No, they're not. But it has nothing to do with them winning a Super Bowl.
It has everything to do with them.
Well, it doesn't have
tell
everything,
me,
but
why.
it's risk
Tell me,
reward.
no, he just said. Tell me why it
knew
has
what I said.
everything.
Because risking something for something that doesn't get you a parade, that doesn't get you a ring, that doesn't put you in this Super Bowl pantheon of great teams doesn't matter as much. I would love for Saquon to have it. But anything that you put to risk that could hurt your Super Bowl chances for something less than a Super Bowl trophy is dumb to me.
The idea that you said, and I understand what you're saying. I mean, and as I say to you, I sort of lean towards the way you guys feel, but I just feel that there has been in this discussion, it has just been with not you guys, but just overall week long as I've been seeing it, interacting with it. There's only one right answer. No, there's not. No, there's not. Because there are guys in the room who wear the uniform, who care about the team, who are part of the team, who don't agree with you.
Now, I will say this.
So what do you say to them? And I'd like
say
both
you
of
have
to
the
say
wrong
that.
answer.
Well, I would say
I want
the
you to
same thing.
speak to them and go, what do you say to the guys
Hey,
in the
Jordan,
room
sometimes hard decisions need to be made, and this is the decision that we believe is best for the team, and that's why I'm the head coach of this football team.
And so
Boom.
That's good.
We all fertilize.
We all fertilize.
Oh, no.
This week is about fertilizing. This week is not about record chasing.
The biggest fertilizing is going to be people that are now who have ripped Nick Sirianni incessantly, who are now going to try to convince me, yes, we have to trust his judgment.
I'm not trusting his judgment.
Yes,
I'm trusting what I thought was the right decision.
No, you're in the same boat. You're in the same boat.
I'm trusting that he listened to the show on Monday, was disappointed that you weren't in, and said, you know what, I guess I have to listen to this Chunas guy instead. All right, you can text in or call in 610-632-0975. How are we feeling about the decision? Now, coming up next, you mentioned that not everybody was on the same page with the offensive line. You'll hear from Lane Johnson, who was pretty adamant about what the decision should have been made. You'll hear from him coming up next. But I got to ask this question for a lot of you listening. Does the team making the decision change your mind? Because Monday and Sunday night were very fun for me reading your replies on social media. But I know how a lot of people get with the green-colored glasses at times.
Absolutely.
Has the decision by the team changed your opinion? It is Kincade and Salciunas on January 2nd, 2025. We made it right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sirianni makes the call. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Bet Parks. Join Seth Joyner and D. Gunn for the Bet Parks pre- and post-game shows live at Parks Casino. For every Birds game, must be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Eagles have made the call. Nick Sirianni says that taking on the Giants on Sunday, well, it'll be the backups. He talked about the majority of starters resting since the game doesn't have seeding implications. Here's what the head coach specifically said yesterday.
We're locked into that number 2 seeds. We're going to rest some guys. There are going to be some guys that are resting. There are going to be some guys that are in reserve roles. You can't obviously rest everybody with the roster, and so that's our plan.
So with the Eagles locked into the 2 seed, it's now a waiting game to see who they'll take on in the first round of the NFC playoffs. If the season ended today, it would be the Green Bay Packers, but we'll see if Washington and them flip spots in Week 18. It also means resting the starters that Saquan Barkley will finish the season short of Eric Dickerson's all-time rushing record, but a 2,000-yard season under his belt is a pretty solid consolation prize. The Sixers fell to the Kings last night, 113-107. The loss snaps a 4-game win streak. Paul George did have 30 points in the loss. They'll take on the Golden State Warriors tonight at 10 p.m. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers take on the Vegas Golden Knights tonight at 10 p.m. as well. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Thursday morning, January 2nd of 2025. We hope you all had a wonderful New Year's Eve and, of course, New Year's Day. Hope everybody was safe around Philadelphia yesterday with the Mummers Parade. Of course, our hearts go out to everybody that, was in New Orleans. Just a horrible story to wake up to. I mean, you know me, I was in bed by like 10 o'clock.
I love the French Quarter so much. We've been talking about it potentially for Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I love New Orleans. I love the French Quarter. I think it's the best Super Bowl city.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
I have walked on that block where those people got run down. I have walked on that block 100 times.
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
Yeah, so our hearts go out to, everybody in New Orleans and everybody that was involved. I mean, there's people that were obviously there just for New Year's Eve, right?
Friends of mine were looking for their children.
Yeah.
Because their kids went to sleep in New Orleans. They're Georgia students. A lot of kids went to high school with.
Yeah, of course.
Go to Georgia. They're down there partying for the Sugar Bowl.
For the college football playoff,
and the college football playoff game. And parents going, okay, text me back.
Yeah, no.
And the kids had rolled back in.
It has to be probably one of the biggest fears.
Awful.
Yeah,
Awful.
Unbelievable. So our hearts go out to everybody involved. All right, so the text line is apparently humming this morning.
That's good.
We'll get to it momentarily. Again, our question today, it's a simple one. How are you feeling now that you know that the decision was made by Nick Seriani yesterday to rest starters, of course, including Saquon Barkley? So Saquon Barkley will not be getting the all-time rushing record. Now, I want to make this clear as well, because Connor and I talked about this on Monday. I wasn't rooting against the record. If he got the record, that would be amazing.
Wait a minute. If you say don't go for it, you're rooting against the record.
No, let's say they decide he was playing Sunday. I wasn't going to say, well, I hope he better not get it, just to prove a point.
Well, if you support him, if you support the chasing of the record, you say play him. If you don't support it, you say
no.
sit
I'm saying I wouldn't if he got it, I'd still celebrate it.
Yeah, but your actions are saying don't go for it.
Yeah, I didn't want them to ultimately go for it.
So then you are not about pursuing the record. You got to be on one side.
Yeah, I'm not about pursuing the.
No, okay, then you are. You cannot do the Bill Colarulo thing on this.
If Nick Sirianni decided yesterday Saquon Barkley will play, I would have been upset with the decision. I would have watched the game on Sunday, and if he broke the record, I would have tipped my cap.
Okay, because it's you either support going for the record or you don't. There's no middle ground.
I don't know if it's that black and white.
Yeah, you either support them going for it, knowing the risks involved. And you clearly put them out very well, or you don't support it.
All right, well, then I guess I don't support it then. Then I hope he never rushes for 2,000 yards ever again in his career. That's what you're making it seem like I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not. I'm making it very simple for you. You either support him going for the record, there are risks involved, everybody assumes that, or you don't.
Yeah, but if they made the decision to play him, I would have said, all right, well, if he's playing, then I hope he gets it.
No, but that's not
Is that
how
not
it works.
Connor?
No, make
do you
the call
understand what I'm saying?
I hope Saquon never gains another yard.
You guys are spinning this. Make the call.
Yeah, I made the call.
You say no going for it.
No going for it. Yep.
And you say no going for it.
No go.
And right now, I honestly, I swear, I am Bill Colarulo. I am sitting on the fence. My legs are dangling because I understand your point of view and people who think like you on this completely. I don't think you're nuts. I don't think you're crazy. And I said to start the show today, I'm probably 55-45 agreeing with you. But it's the insufferable. There's only one right answer to this.
Oh, there is.
You got to shut them down.
Yeah, there's only one right answer.
It's ridiculous because even in that locker room, that's not the opinion.
Well, not everybody in that locker room is correct.
Interesting.
Some players were wrong.
They actually have something on the line. Amazing.
What's on the line is the playoffs, baby. So
the playoffs are already guaranteed.
I also want
and the seat is locked up.
I want people to answer this question, and I want you to be as honest as possible. Now, this isn't for us to discuss.
Okay.
This is more so for the people that were very adamant about him going after the record on Sunday and on Monday before any decision was made. The decision was not made until Wednesday, so you had many days to think about this. Now that you know the team made the decision, does your opinion change? Because there are a lot of people that believe the media is evil, John. And so when I do the show on Monday saying that they shouldn't play him on Sunday, I got attacked, and I understood. I said to Connor, I totally get it. Where people they want to see history. They want to see something cool. I was at the game. You were there for media purposes. I was at the game when he broke Shady's single-season rushing record. To say that I was in that building
means something
and saw it means something to me, man. Like that's really cool. I got to see that with my dad. I imagine there are 80,000 people that have tickets to the game on Sunday. I bet you that 75,000 of them wanted Saquon to play because they were going to the game already, and they would like to have seen that in person. It's not going to happen now. Now that the decision was made, are there some people that go, all right, if the Eagles believe this is or if Nick Sirianni, I should say, believes this is the right decision, then this is the right decision. Because you know how people sometimes are sheep and go with whatever the sheep herder says. And in this case, the sheep herder is Nick Sirianni.
I'm just laughing at people all of a sudden are willing to follow Nick Sirianni. That's just great. People who are saying all of a sudden now are going to try to convince me, yeah, trust Nick Sirianni. Trust in him. It's the number one thing that the fan base in this city over with texts and calls and emails doesn't agree with.
Well, what if somebody already had the opinion to rest in Week 18 and they're happy that Nick Sirianni agreed with them?
Then they're happy. Then they're fine with disagreeing with many of the same principal players.
Yes,
that are involved in
totally
the thing.
Fine with disagreeing with Jordan Mailata. I'm totally fine with it.
How about 26?
Well,
you did because he wants it.
Yeah,
and no spin job.
But he also said he'll do whatever's best for the team.
Oh yes, he will. Of course he will, because he's going to be a good teammate. But he wants to play.
Yes.
And to me, there's something about it, and I think a lot of people are going to give us opinions today. We're going to
absolutely. You'll hear from Saquon Barkley to start the 7 o'clock hour. But let's play Lane Johnson real quick before we get to our texts and calls, because I know a lot of people are ready to chime in on this because, you know, this is the morning show. It's the first time for a lot of people to get a chance. Obviously, everybody was busy yesterday, New Year's Day.
And I've missed talking to people.
I know. You've been out for a long time.
Yes,
I can't believe you actually came back. 4 a.m. alarm must have been fun setting for you.
It sucked.
Here's Lane Johnson. He was on with Good Morning Football yesterday. Now, this was before the decision was made. So we've been saying this a couple of times this morning, that this was not a unified decision. Jordan Mailata was very adamant about going for the record. Lane Johnson, on the other hand, not so much. This was him yesterday morning before the decision.
We just got a couple of days off, which we really hadn't got for most of the year. So that was big after this past win. So what's the risk versus reward? Would we like to have a full strength team, or would you want to risk having somebody injured for the playoffs, which happened last year, by the way, in the loss of Tampa. So know what we're playing for and remember from past experiences.
He was pretty clear that he didn't necessarily want to play. He
was very clear.
He went on to say in that clip, well, if they decide that we're going, I'll play, because he's there with his brothers. But he made it pretty clear
what his opinion was.
And he even said, this one was actually kind of crazy. Did you hear what he said on Sunday after the win and after Saquon broke 2,000? He was asked about it. Now, obviously, he's heat of the moment. This is post-game. You know how the guys are in the locker room.
Sure.
He said, well, Eric Dickerson did do it in 16 games.
He said it.
He said it. Lane Johnson said it.
And to me, I would say, Lane, with all due respect, that's the dumbest take on this that I've heard. Because Eric Dickerson broke the record of OJ's record. He did it in 14. So stop.
But I was just amazed that Lane, I'm surprised a teammate
Yeah, but I'm
said
surprised.
That. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because he was trying to establish what he wanted to have happen from the beginning. And others in the room didn't follow his talking points. They had their own. They had their own, including the guy who has a chance to set immortality.
I'm looking forward to the story that comes out, because it's going to at some point.
Sure.
About what was the percentage for playing and what was the percentage against playing. I know Nick didn't talk to all 53 guys.
AJ was clear. AJ wanted rest.
Yeah.
AJ was brothers in arms with Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
So AJ Brown was not. I think Devontae Smith was, though.
I wonder what it turns out to be.
There was brother against brother on this, and I'm not depicting this as it's not brother versus whether people are screw you, dude.
Oh no, this isn't going to turn into some locker room debacle.
But there is absolutely a lot of feelings about this.
Oh yeah, for sure, and there's a lot of feelings from Eagles fans. Let's talk to them. I find this one amazing. Let's go to Leonard in Philly. What's up, Leonard?
What's up, Leonard?
Good morning, guys.
What's up, brother? How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, well, it's not a great New Year to start off with, right? I mean, I was very adamant about him breaking the record for multiple reasons. I think that it was more than just it wasn't an individual award. It was a team award, offensive line record, coach record. But I just think that it's a loser mentality. Just forfeit the game. Just say, hey, we want to rest everybody because, as my wife went out back in 2017, didn't you guys have a backup quarterback? what happens if our backup quarterback gets hurt? We might need him. Say, God forbid, Jalen goes down or something again. So why not just play it like that? Like, we should rest everybody because we may need everybody. If that's the way we want to go, right? I mean, shouldn't we have
Well, I'm telling you right now, I would not play Kenny Pickett on Sunday.
Exactly. So why not just forfeit the game? I mean,
you're gonna have Tanner McKee. You're gonna have Ian Book. I would look if I could, I would, but obviously you can't.
You say the mentality to you bothers you.
Yes, it kind of, and I know it's a different sport. I know I'm going to say it's a different sport, but where has load management? Look at the game yesterday, and Beeb said, load management. Look at how much load management has done for the Sixers.
It doesn't load and load management again. There is no
thanks for the
science
call, Leonard.
To it. There's none. There is just the people in their feelings going. There could be something bad that happens,
right?
And we absolutely that is there. But the risk reward would tell you, especially statistically, that with this team, these guys playing. Saquon's just played 16 games. And he's perfectly fine. He's as healthy as he's been at the end of his career, at the end of a season, as he's been.
How about this? He's even healthier and fresher now, Johnny.
Yeah, now that
and because he is your offense,
so
I wanted to take what I believe was the best plan of action for this team.
Okay. Yeah, and he's going to tell you. He's a good teammate.
He keeps saying 55-45. You sound like you are more on the side of play him.
No, I'm just saying is that, guess what? I'm telling Saquon Barkley, I disagree with you.
You know what, Gorbachev, take down that fence.
No,
you're picking a side by the end of this day.
Oh, I am absolutely. I'm telling Saquon Barkley, no, you don't need this record. You don't need immortality.
Beautiful. Welcome to the good side of history, man.
No, I'm saying that's what you're asking me to do, and that's why I'm torn. Like Leonard, I don't say loser mentality, but that's why.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a stretch. And there have been a lot of stretches, and we'll get to some of these as the show goes on. But coming up next, we hear more from you. We'll check out the text line because I know it's been busy. How are the Eagles fans feeling today? They were very adamant on Sunday and Monday that Saquon should go for the record. Now that the decision was made, how are the Eagles fans feeling this morning? It is Kincade and Salciunas back together again here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Not only can you listen to The Fanatic, but you can also watch on 97.5.
97.5 The Fanatic on January 2nd. Year
Casino
2.
stories we were sharing.
Yes.
That's
You had the nice day with your daughter Liv, who turned 21.
Playing blackjack for the first time.
That's beautiful.
She lost it.
Well,
She got beat the card center a lesson.
that's why it's called gambling, baby.
Absolutely.
That's why it's called gambling.
There you go.
All right, so social media is even buzzing this morning as well. This was a decision that I think a lot of people. Here's the I think the answer that a lot of people are going to give. Our man Jeff from DC, who we love. He said, "I agree with the decision. I don't like it, but I agree with it." And I think you're kind of there.
No, that's where I'm at.
You're
It's-
on the
No, that's
you're
what-
on the right side of the fence.
That's about where I'm at. Is that? But I'm going to get off the fence here soon because I have to.
Hey,
but,
Gorbachev,
but
man.
it's
You got to tear down that wall.
I think it's more as Bill Colarulo, as it is dangling. It's not going to be. There will be. I'll take a stand. I feel that way too. I'm not happy with it.
Of course,
I'm not
Of course
happy
you're not.
with
And I understand why people want to go for it. I understand why people are upset that they're not going for it. I just believe in my heart that this is the right decision because I was also very adamant last year about not playing in Week 18 against the Giants, and you lost your best wide receiver. And that
was
team,
the team that was going nowhere.
That team was going nowhere.
That
You're
was
right.
that was in the absolute crapper. I keep hearing this thing about A.J. Brown.
Yeah, but John, if Saquon Barkley were to go down, and this is the risk reward, right?
Absolutely.
There is a 0% chance of him getting hurt on Sunday with him not playing, right? We know that for a fact.
There
0%
is.
chance of him getting hurt.
There is.
If he were to get hurt, this offense still goes through him. I know the Steelers game was great, but 9 of the 10 wins during the 10-game winning streak was the Saquon show.
Okay.
If he were to get hurt, I don't think they're making some deep playoff run.
No, I don't think they would either.
So?
But I'm not going to sit there and live my life doing that because he's had 300 and some snaps. He has been
even more the
incredibly-
reason.
No, but it's not though. There's not a statistical thing that says in game 17, this is the one where he gets hurt. No, there's not.
But there's a track record of him being injured at times.
He's absolutely. But what he usually has is something far different than the crippling. It's more of that soft tissue stuff, which he's had none of.
He's had none.
He's had none of. And he doesn't feel and more importantly, and the topic we're going to get to discussing is the idea of what does he think?
Right. All right, Connor, what do we have on the text line? You can text in, call in, same number, 610-632-0975.
All right, our first text in here, no name on this one, but they say if the starters played, it would be 16 games in a row without a bye until we get to the Super Bowl. That is far too long in a row. The early bye says one thing, rest everyone.
And I'm curious because you have
again,
Johnny stats.
I'm going to tell you here, and thanks to ESPN Stats and Information. First 25 Super Bowl champions did not have a bye. So never had a bye.
Yeah, but they were smoking cigarettes on the side.
They played not in the later years of that. And since then, since that time, around 40% of teams have not had a bye.
Now, my question is, when was their regular season bye? The Week 5 bye is a pretty big deal.
And you know who's talking about that more? Sports Talk Radio.
Yes, absolutely.
Than the players.
Well, Lane Johnson said he was in favor of it.
Yeah, it's because Lane's trying to find reasons to back up his point of view in the idea that this team's incredibly healthy right now. This team is the arguably starters healthiest team in the NFL right now.
And you know what? Even healthier now.
You're not healthy or resting. You're just.
Oh.
You're not healthy.
Everyone needs
You're not
a day of
healthier.
rest.
You're not healthy or resting.
Then you should have worked during the holidays, John.
Saquon scoffed at that. No, believe me. I get paid.
I've earned my time off.
No, you get paid not to work, and believe me, I'm going to take it.
All right, let's go to Ryan in Aston. Ryan, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, Ryan.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year. Happy 2025. So I want to ask, do you feel like this is the same thing, like Nick Seriani having to make this decision? Everybody was ripping him you remember that game where he decided to go for it on like 3 different tries instead of kicking a field goal?
Yeah,
that was
the Jacksonville game.
No, he did that in New Orleans,
yeah, a couple
too.
times this year.
He did that in New Orleans. And, no, I think it was another game, but okay, he did that in New Orleans.
Jacksonville was the egregious one.
the egregious game.
But everybody was unhappy with the decision that he made, and it was like the guy can't really win for losing. It's like he makes a bold decision, and everybody's ripping him, and then he makes a cautious decision, and everybody's ripping him. It's like, what what do you want the guy to do? I don't understand.
Well, I'd say to you this is that when he's listening to voices in his locker room, okay, whose voice should carry the most weight?
I think the players, honestly.
No. When he's talking to individual players about this issue, whose vote should count the most?
Between his and who, Saquon or his?
Yeah,
and anybody?
him and Saquon, right? I mean, shouldn't Saquon's voice carry the day as the most important voice?
Well, I will say this, and thanks for the call, Ryan. We appreciate it. Happy New Year. We have said numerous times that if Saquon were to play, that means everybody would have to play.
The offensive linemen have to play.
So,
and the wide receivers are playing anyway.
Right. Now, the question is...
They may not play.
I wonder how many of the 5 offensive linemen... That, again, I can't wait for the story to come out because you know it's going to at some point. Like, who was in favor, who was not in favor. And some players might be off the... Or, they'll be anonymous in the story. But of the 5 linemen, we know the 2 tackles were on different sides.
Yes.
Jordan was pro play. Lane was, hey, I would like this rest. I'm 37 years old or 36 years old. I played a lot of football in my life.
34, but
34. I wonder the other guys. Becton's banged up. I don't think Becton was going to play on Sunday. You saw him hobbling off the field.
He was hobbling.
He probably preferred a day off.
Okay.
Jurgens, young guy. I imagine he would want to play. Just a guess.
I think. Here is how I believe the vote would have gone.
Just O-line.
Jurgens, Mailata, Dickerson.
Pro,
getting the record. That's how I believe it. How about this? That's how I believe it to be heart of hearts.
Okay. And then Lane and Becton anti.
Dinged up.
Yeah.
And I think that would be his reasoning. Lane, I'm the sage old wise owl.
Yeah.
And that's what.
And I'm making the wise decision.
And I'm not saying any of them are wrong. I'm just saying is that I think that's how it would have gone.
All right, give us one more text there, Connor.
All right, we have a check-in here. First-time texter here. They say you have to let him have a chance at the record. Can't let what if get in the way. If the Eagles lose the first-round game, then it'll be a total failure on this decision.
Now, I'm curious, John, because, again, we haven't talked about this.
Sure we haven't.
Where did you fall? Because I heard that you have to let him have a chance. There are people that say you have to let him have a chance, but there are also people that say give him the first half.
No, I play him until he alone. No, because I'm not going to be a hypocrite. If you play him in the first half,
playing him until he gets it.
And let's say Andrew Pacheco always has some great numbers on this. That I think his first half numbers are around 47 yards.
Oh, Andrew Pacheco was listening to Kincade Salciunas that day because I had those numbers on the show.
Okay, so I mean he has like 47 yards. I don't believe he would have 47 yards against this Giants team.
Let's say 80.
Let's say he has 80.
That's still 22 yards away.
Then I'm absolutely letting him take the first series.
Absolutely.
And he would go get it.
But there are people that are saying, we'll give him the first half. And I laugh at that because my question for those people, if he was at 90 yards, are you saying,
no, you're not.
Sorry.
No, you're saying
you
get
have
it.
him play. Exactly.
You're saying go get it.
All right, so at least you're fully on board with that.
Go get it.
All right, so we've teased this multiple times. Hear from Saquon Barkley next. He spoke to the media yesterday about the decision. You'll hear from the man who it affects more than anybody else.
Yep.
Coming up next, it is Kincade Salciunas on this Thursday morning. We'll also hear from you as this was a decision that I think rubbed a lot of Eagles fans the wrong way. I'm curious to see as the show continues how it ends up balancing out. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Rest for the starters. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Barbera Auto, driven by Gary Barbera. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess New Year, new car. See Gary Barbera's Dallas Sucks Bus. Coach Nick picks Barbera, so drive like Brandon Graham, and Coach Nick is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess. DallasStillSucks.com. The Eagles are taking on the Giants Sunday, or rather, the Eagles' backups are. Yesterday, Nick Seriani said that the starters will be resting since the game doesn't have seeding implications. Here's what the coach had to say.
We're locked into that number 2 seed, so we're going to rest some guys. There's going to be some guys that are resting. There are going to be some guys that are in reserve roles. You can't obviously rest everybody with the roster, and so that's our plan.
With the Eagles locked into that seeding, it's now a waiting game to see who they'll take on in the first round of the NFC playoffs. Right now it's Green Bay, could be Washington, so we'll keep you updated on that. Also means that Saquon Barkley will finish the season short of Eric Dickerson's all-time rushing record. The Sixers fell to the Kings last night, 113-107. The loss snaps a 4-game win streak. Paul George did have 30 points in the loss. They'll take on the Golden State Warriors tonight at 10 p.m. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers take on the Vegas Golden Knights tonight at 10 p.m. You can hear that game on our sister station, WMMR. This update's also brought to you by Ace Hardware Home Services. Got a leaky pipe, having issues with your heat? At Ace Hardware Home Services, they're around the block with everything you need to fix it. They've got the pros to keep your home humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation? Business trip? Don't worry. You can still hear all your...
this Thursday morning here on 97.5 The Fanatic. John Kincade back in the saddle.
Good
Missed
to be
you,
back,
Johnny.
too. I did. I missed you, too.
Although I actually didn't work all that much either. But
No, you didn't. You didn't.
we'll ignore
no,
that
but
part.
is the one thing that I did miss, and if I had it to do over again, is Monday.
Oh, after the Cowboys
and you know
game.
me, so I already look, I'm constantly already looking ahead towards the next year, and I said next year I would work the Monday and then go back off again.
Oh, yeah, because it was an easy day.
No, but you want to also be a part of that.
Oh, yeah,
Like, it was
sure, yeah.
great. It was great.
It was also an easy day. By the way, Connor did a
Was
great
easy.
job.
Connor did do a great
Not just
job.
filling in for you, but when I was out as well. Connor did a great job holding down the fort.
Oh, you're too kind.
B-Gun, too.
B-Gun, Brennan Gunn. This is why this is a good team. Haley,
It is.
Haley, everything that she
Haley.
does. This is a team. It's
It
the
is.
whole team.
We
It
rested
is.
the starters and everything was fine.
Yeah, see? It worked out. You know, our vocal cords are good to start the new year.
Yeah, they are.
For the playoff push.
Yeah, they are.
We all
but
took the same page out of Nick Sirianni's book, and you don't even want to admit that.
let me give you one warning. Just one little warning. It's going to take like 10 seconds.
What, I'm rusty?
My right knee, I have a mild arthritic right knee. And
apologies.
in Atlanta, we called it the weather knee
Okay.
because I sense weather coming. The weather knee is flared today a little bit. I don't know I think they were saying that there was a chance of snow tomorrow. I'd keep an eye on it because
just
I could
saying-
feel it today.
I will never trust your weather judgment ever again.
First, it's the fuzzy caterpillars. Now
Well,
it's
no.
the knee.
I
Guess
also was
what?
told by this man that there would never be a day over 60 degrees again to close out the year.
I didn't think there would be.
And last Sunday, I was Connor, you saw me. I walked into Xfinity Live where we did our pregame show. I was like, my God, it's hot.
Isn't it beautiful?
T-shirt. I was in a
Fuzzy-
T-shirt
the fuzzy-
on December.
I'm telling you, the fuzzy caterpillars will rule. January is we're supposed to have the coldest January since the turn of the century. Like in this year. This January is supposed to be the polar vortex is
It's
coming
going to
in.
be 75 degrees next week.
We'll see.
If it's cold, that's why you need Saquon healthy.
That's why.
That's right. It's a good point. That's a good point there, Connor.
Kind of can steer the car right back on the road.
All right, so speaking of Saquon, again, today's question is your reaction to the decision made by Nick Sirianni and whoever else was in the decision-making process.
No, he
Obviously,
said it was his and his alone.
Well, he did speak with players. He said he spoke with Jeff Lurie. He said he spoke with Howie Rosen, but ultimately it was his decision. At least that's what he's telling us, and I'll take his word for it.
I will, too.
So here is Saquon Barkley reacting to the decision that was made that he will not be playing on Sunday, which means he will not be going after breaking Eric Dickerson's record.
The coach asked me what I like to do, and we had a conversation, and he called me back, let me know that we're probably going to be resting, and my reaction was kind of like I told my family. Obviously, my family, probably wanted a little bit more than me, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is winning football games and winning the playoffs. So I got a bigger goal in mind anyway.
He gets it.
Saquon, well, yeah. But Saquon did not want to sit out. Saquon did not. When he spoke to Nick Sirianni and just listened to it, he did not want to sit out.
If Nick
He
said to
wanted the
Saquon,
record.
hey, let's go for the record, he would have 100% gone for it. You're
He
right.
would have loved, no, he would have, I guarantee you that when he was asked, what do you want to do? I guarantee you his answer was, I want to go for it. Guarantee it. Listen to his answer there. He said, Coach asked me what I wanted, and then he called me and said, we're going to rest.
You don't think his answer was whatever you want to do?
No. I think you got to ask personally. Personally, what do you want to do?
No, I mean, Connor,
I think he said, I want the record.
You picked
means
up on it
something.
even Sunday during his post-game press conference. It seemed like he wanted to go.
He wanted to go
but,
for it.
Like, my bet would be that if he was asked about it, if Nick Sirianni said, yo, what do you want to do, Saquon? He would say, hey, your call, Coach.
No,
Like,
he
I
says,
do legitimately
what do
think
you,
that.
and then Coach says to him, no, I asked you, what do you want to do?
Win a Super Bowl.
And he said, there's no way that
bigger
he
goals
wanted
in
the
mind,
he
man.
wanted the record. And I believe
there's no debating
I believe with 100% accuracy that when he was asked, he wanted to go for the record.
Well, here is what Nick Sirianni said to Saquon, according to Saquon Barkley.
Right, exactly.
Here's what the conversation was all about.
I mean, he asked me if I wanted to play, if I want to go for it. I said on Sunday, I probably didn't care too much for it. When I slept on it, it was like it was an opportunity to implant my name in football history. May never get another opportunity like that again. So I'm down, but at the end of the day, like I don't care for putting the team at risk. He's the head coach for a reason. He makes those decisions, and whatever decision he wanted to make, I let him know if you want me to play, I'm going to go out there and make sure I get it. And if we don't, I'm okay with that too.
And there's 100% clarity. He wanted to play.
Yeah.
He wanted to go for it. So to me, the most important voice in the room is his. It's his opportunity for immortality that on something that has lasted 4 decades. I remember the Eric Dickerson season. This is immortality in football.
Yeah, look.
And they're saying, no. We're not doing it, Saquon. And I do not like it. I do not like that.
See, I'm in favor of the decision. Very much so in favor of the decision. Not even a second thought about the decision. I could tell that he wanted it. Even before that.
You can hear his
voice.
voice.
I could hear it on Sunday. He said in that clip,
right.
Sunday, he didn't really care as much. Yes, he did. Like, it came off on Sunday.
I think he actually cared about it more after.
Well, yeah, because he probably did think about it, and he's probably getting excited, and he didn't talk to him about it until probably yesterday, so he was probably thinking, oh, maybe there is a chance, and then he starts thinking about I'm sure buddies of his were texting him that he hasn't talked to in years.
He said all the right things, and that speaks to Connor's point. He said all the right things, and he spoke the way you want a leader of a team to do. But I feel terrible for him.
So let me ask you.
Honestly, I feel terrible for him today.
I'll ask you this question because again, this is a fascinating conversation for me because I'm so in favor of the decision.
Absolutely.
And I was adamant about that on Sunday. I wanted him pulled from the game before he got to 2,000 because he was all of a sudden getting 25, 26, 27 carries when they were already up by 25-plus points. I didn't think he needed to be on the field anymore, but I understood why they tried getting him to 2,000.
Right.
So did you want Nick to make the decision or Saquon to make the decision?
I wanted Saquon to make the decision. In consultation, hearing what his teammates had to say, hearing what the general consensus was, the pros and the cons, but I wanted them to say, hey, Saquon, this is your name. This is immortality.
Now,
and by the way, it's immortality for the Eagles franchise.
Oh, of course it is.
And
now, then again, 2,000 yards is still nothing to sneeze at.
Well, considering 8 other people have ever done it.
Yeah, only 8 other people.
That is, it's immortality, and to be number 1 at the top of the list.
That would be really cool.
And anybody who comes with the, well, he'd be doing it in Game 17, so it doesn't matter. The guy who holds the record did it in 2 more games
than OJ.
Than the guy, so stop with that.
Now, you have been somebody that sometimes gets annoyed with Nick being super pro player. Sometimes.
Yes. No, sometimes. You're right.
Now, this was a decision that was not pro the player, the guy that this impacts the most. So
no, he chose to follow.
Are you proud of? Like, I'm curious. Like, are you proud of Nick?
Guess what? I'm proud of anyone, and I mean this. I'm proud of Nick Seriani in the fact that, to me, he shows conviction, and he shows that he is a man of character. He stood up there. He explained his decision. He talked to people. And he took what I believe to be a very unpopular stance. I admire anyone who has the ability to do that. So I'm not ripping Nick Seriani for that. I am saying to myself, I feel horrible for Saquon. You can hear it in his voice. He had a chance at immortality. The offensive line had a chance at immortality. And I don't believe the majority of the offensive linemen or Saquon himself agree with his decision.
I'll just say this. I didn't sleep well last night. It had nothing to do with this. I wish I slept well, but I could have slept like a baby last night if I could actually sleep, but I can't sleep well. This doesn't bother me at all. I'm not thinking twice about it. It's what I believe. Again,
right.
Andrew Salciunas of Kincade Salciunas, you're on the Fanatic. It's what I believe is the best decision for the Eagles, for Nick Sirianni, the head coach, to have made.
I admire Nick Sirianni on this, though. I do. I admire the fact that it's not easy to make unpopular decisions.
No.
It's not easy you're going to piss somebody off. Our bosses do it.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they make decisions that they know, this might piss off Mike Missanelli, but not piss off John. Or this might piss off Andrew, and it pisses off John. Like, whatever it is. I admire people who can make tough decisions and then explain their rationale.
Right.
and stand there and take the bullets.
And Nick Sirianni did that yesterday.
He did that, so I admire that with Nick.
Let's play the clip. Well, let's play cut 4 one more time, Connor, from Nick Sirianni yesterday. Obviously, the first clip that we played was him making the actual announcement that Saquon would not be playing. But here's head coach Nick Sirianni explaining more as to the decision why to not play Saquon Barkley.
Obviously, it's a very special record that's been, standing for a very long time by a great player. It's a team record that everybody's involved in. So you weigh in all those things, but at the end of the day, you just try to do what's best for the team.
And he believes that that's what's best for the team.
I can only imagine the phone call that he had with Saquon.
Oh, it could not have been easy.
Because it's I don't. It's just I don't understand.
I would imagine it was a better phone call than the one that Joe Shane had with him.
Oh,
why don't you go test the market there, Saquon?
It's really hard, and I think that also plays into it.
I was going to ask you that.
I think the Giant game plays into it
because a lot of people were like, "Do it against the old team."
I think that he had the opportunity to do something in mortality, and they're saying no. And look, I completely think, like Connor said earlier, I absolutely believe that I think he's a great teammate, not a good teammate. I think he's a great teammate, and he can say all the right things. But you heard it in his voice in the sound bites. He didn't want this. He wants to play, and I'm going to feel like crap on Sunday for him, seeing him like stand there and realize against that crappy Giants team that he could have been the all-time leading rusher in the history of the
maybe
sport.
Kenneth Gainwell could have the all-time single rushing record. Game rushing record.
Guess
Will
what?
Shipley.
Guess what? We're going to hope that doesn't happen because then everyone will feel like crap. If they go out, if Kenneth Gainwell runs all over the Giants,
I won't feel crappy at all, my man.
Oh my gosh,
I won't feel crappy at all. I stand by my decision. If I was Nick Sirianni,
you know what's funny is I would love to have all the people who feel that way, like you, be able to have a conversation with Saquon about it, and I would wonder if it would change your opinion. If you literally had to sit in a room with Saquon and have that, hey, Saquon, here, you're not going for it.
Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, but like
I would feel bad saying it to him.
But
I'm sure Nick Sirianni had a hard time telling him.
Oh, I'm sure he did. That's why I admire people who can do it.
Yeah,
that's hard.
And I would say sorry, man. And then Saquon would plead his case for like 10 minutes, and then I just go, no, but I'm sorry, man. Like that.
I don't know what to tell you, guy.
That would be it. Yeah, exactly. Like,
wow,
sorry.
I'd say, Coach. So you're saying this means because the most popular thing that's driven me crazy during the break was, hey, this is about winning the Super Bowl. There's nothing that's going to happen by resting the players that's going to say, well, we're going to the Super Bowl now.
Well, we're winning the Super Bowl.
Avoiding
risk.
That avoiding risk is
you're a big risk management guy, Johnny.
But I'm also a person who's taken risks my entire life, business-wise, investment-wise, otherwise. So I don't agree. Is that risk management is deciding whether you're willing to take the risk. Risk management, which people then mistakenly put it as, is not. Risk management means you don't take any risks. Risk management is you weigh the pros and cons.
Yeah, but you know what a risk was? Playing him the 31 carries on Sunday just to get to 2,000 yards.
Yeah,
a bit of a risk.
So they did that, but they're not going to do this. Again, that makes the case that he should play. What they did on Sunday makes the case that he should play more than he shouldn't.
No, I think they did that so that he could get to 2,000.
So they cared about 2,000.
Yeah.
So they cared about a record on.
Yeah, no, but they let him get to 2,000, and then they said, so "We're gonna," because any other game, right? Let's say he was rushing for 1,500 yards.
Right.
He wouldn't have been on the field anymore.
Mm-hmm. No, because with Devontae Smith, they proved that wasn't true. They proved that wasn't true.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago. I'm talking about this year. Saquon.
No, but I'm saying
how many times have we seen Saquon not play in the fourth quarter this year because the game was over?
They've done incentive things before for players.
Well, this isn't an incentive for money.
This is a incentive for immortality for the franchise. It's interesting. I mean, look, I get it both ways here.
Johnny Gorbachev today,
but
man.
Not. No, I'll tell you this: hearing his voice and hearing those sound bites tonight, all I did was read them and hadn't heard them till today. And when I hear them, I feel worse about it, and I lean towards more they're making a mistake.
Ah, you hear this? All right, Connor, you said we have a big text on the text line, huh?
Absolute bomb on the text line.
All right, bring it in.
If you want to see John Kincaid's brain turn into a pretzel, it's coming. Chris checks in here. Thank you very much, Chris, for making this point because I didn't even think of this. Says, I'm with John on playing Barkley. but he can't say this about playing Saquon Barkley, yet rail on Embiid over and over again about playing in the Olympics.
Yes, you can.
Put the team's
Yes, you
ultimate
can.
goal
The
first
Olympics is
over individual accolades.
That was
The
immortality,
Olympics,
man.
first of all, it's not. First of all, this is not an individual. It's not an MVP award. More importantly, Embiid was. This is the stupidest thing we've ever heard.
He's a gold medalist now, baby.
He was injured. He knew he was injured. He knew what he was supposed to be doing with his offseason, and he selfishly chose to do something that was self-indulgent. That was an exhibition.
Put himself over the team.
This is not an exhibition. And more importantly, he's not putting himself ahead of the team because a lot of the team feels exactly the way Saquon does.
Now, in fairness,
they want to play.
Playing the Giants is always an exhibition, so we got to look at it that way.
Caller has a point. Caller has a point.
But it's interesting. I mean,
no, it is. I mean, but don't even give me anything. There is nothing about Saquon Barkley that resembles Joel Embiid's.
I'm curious how.
Nothing.
I'm sure everybody's vote equaled the same.
No,
right?
it didn't. Obviously not.
No. Like Saquon Pro is 1 point. Lane Johnson
I don't believe
anti is 1 point. Do you think Lane had more weight to his opinion than other players did?
Yes, and I believe Lane had the opinion that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman had.
You also believe they had that opinion?
Yes. I believe Howie Roseman is the sit guy.
See, now, I disagree.
No,
because Howie goes, look at who I signed.
I'm going to tell you.
I signed this guy.
I'm going to tell you right
ran
now.
For the rushing record.
There is zero chance. There is zero. How about this? And this is maybe I'm taking a shot at Nick here. If Howie Roseman wanted Saquon to play,
he'd be playing.
Nick Sirianni would say, "Yeah, Saquon, you're playing." Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni either came to the decision himself or otherwise to agree with what Howie Roseman wanted to do. There's no question. I don't have a question in my mind that this is a Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni collaboration. And I could absolutely see Nick being like, "Okay, Howie. Okay, I agree." That's
I'm
what
happy
they're
to
doing.
take responsibility for all of that.
Do you respect Sean McVay? I don't like him. You know that.
No, I do. I mean, I worked for his dad.
He announced yesterday that Matt Stafford will rest on Sunday. Thinks that's the best plan of action for his team.
And he has no bearing on. There's nothing that Matt Stafford is going for on Sunday that would have anything to do with immortality.
You think Andy Reid's a good coach?
Andy Reid's a very good coach.
Well, Patrick Mahomes ain't playing.
And Patrick Mahomes is not going for immortality.
Well,
Patrick, guess what?
You know what? A dynasty is immortality.
Here's where you fall. Well, then here's where you fall apart on that. First of all, the dynasty is not being determined by anything the Chiefs do this week.
Right, they already have a dynasty.
The Andy Reid, when Bill Belichick had the perfect season was on the line. Mm-hmm. When Tom Brady passing for 50 touchdowns was on the line. When Randy Moss setting the all-time record for wide receiver touchdowns was on the line. And they had everything locked up with 2 games to go. They played everybody.
Yeah, then they had the first-round bye in the playoffs.
They played everybody.
And then they had the first-round bye in the playoffs.
And if you hear Bill Belichick, he explained it to you the other day. It had nothing to do with rest at all. It had to do with chasing immortality. If they had had a loss, things would have been handled differently. If they had had a loss, things might have been handled differently. If Tom Brady wasn't going for immortality, things would have been potentially played differently.
Okay.
It's the idea. And by the way,
they were already a dynasty. The Eagles are trying to become one.
Yeah, well, you can't become a dynasty. You got to win 2 in a row before you go become a dynasty.
Oh, well, you got to win one first.
Yes,
exactly. and I believe that the best plan of action was to rest Saquon Barkley and some of the starters on Sunday to try to get that
some
first
of the
Super Bowl.
starters.
Well, you can't.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, most.
So
Rick Lovato, sorry, brother, you got to play.
No, not most. You're not playing most. You're not sitting most of the starters.
All the starters.
You got 22 starters. You're not sitting most of the starters.
Yeah, you are.
You're picking your star students. There's going to be guys that have to play.
You're sitting most of the starters.
There's going to be guys that have to play.
I guarantee you that on Sunday, if 22, 11 is halfway, more than 11 starters will be sitting.
Jalex Hunt's going to play.
Jalex Hunt's going to play a lot.
Yeah.
He's not a starter.
I understand. He's going to play a lot. And again, this is good. Is that, again, too, for people who didn't study it, risk management is not telling you don't play him. Because I've gotten that from 2 people on Twitter this morning. Risk management does not tell you not to play him. It tells you weigh the points of balance.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
And his chances of getting hurt on Sunday when he doesn't play, you know what that percentage is, Johnny? Yeah. 0.
And that would be one little part of risk management.
Yeah,
That's
and
one
that's
little
the most
part.
important part, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I'm a scholar.
There's
John.
300-some snaps.
T for Temple U, baby.
Yeah, you weren't doing risk management at Temple. I know
All right,
that.
Coming up next, I was doing a lot of risking, but it had nothing
Risk
to do
creation.
had nothing to do with class, man. All right, coming up next, we'll continue the Saquon discussion. However, John and I will finally agree on something today. You're going to try to stop the fear-mongering that's happening.
Because I'm wondering if Billy the C is going to be the perpetrator of this. I'm wondering.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm putting an end to it before it starts.
He could be.
Before it starts.
We'll discuss some new fear-mongering that's happening in the Philadelphia market. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sitting Saquon. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. The Eagles are taking on the Giants Sunday, and they will do it without Saquon Barkley and some of the starters. Yesterday, Nick Seriani announced that the majority of starters will be resting since the game doesn't have seeding implications. Here's what he had to say.
We're locked into that number 2 seed. We're going to rest some guys. There's going to be some guys that are resting. There are going to be some guys that are in reserve roles. You can't obviously rest everybody with the roster, and so that's our plan.
With the Eagles locked into the 2 seed, it's now a waiting game to see who they'll take on in the first round of the NFC playoffs. Right now, it stands that it would be the Green Bay Packers. This decision to sit some starters and Saquon Barkley on Sunday means that Saquon will finish the season short of Eric Dickerson's all-time rushing record. But 2,000 yards, not a bad consolation prize. The Sixers fell to the Kings last night, 113-107. The loss snaps a 4-game win streak. Paul George did have 30 points in the loss. They'll take on the Warriors tonight at 10 p.m. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. The Flyers play the Vegas Golden Knights tonight at 10. You can hear the game on our sister station, WMMR. This update's also brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair. Since 1997, book your free inspection at groundworks.com. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Can you feel it?
The Eagles are back to being Super Bowl contenders. 7:30 on this Thursday morning here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Johnny, how are you feeling? The 4 a.m. alarm, you have not dealt with that in about a week and a half.
It was okay. I went to bed early last night, so it was fine. So I had to say, sorry, Sixers. I needed to get back to sleep.
Well, you missed a horrible fourth quarter, so.
Well, I'm glad I missed that.
Yeah, don't feel too bad about it.
And we don't usually do something like this, but at some point here, we're going to get to our boy Eddie in the Northeast. My buddy is Eddie's on the line. I think he's going to bring some to the conversation, too.
Oh.
He texted me. He goes, I'm on hold with you guys. We don't usually get to hear from him.
All right, well, then let's
Northeast.
go to him, and then you're going to try to stop the fear-mongering.
I will.
What are you bringing to the table here, Eddie?
What's up, Eddie?
What's up, guys? Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too, buddy.
So, obviously, there's a lot to say about the Saquon situation. I completely agree that they had to sit him. I mean, I think Nick Sirianni's in a I think he's in a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario, because I think obviously you got to rest the guys, and it's not just about Saquon. I mean, if you put them out there to get this record, A, there's no guarantee he gets it, and B, you're putting the offensive linemen at risk of injury too. I mean, this is a week that you can finally rest them. I mean,
and they're also the most important part of the team. It's Saquon and the line.
Well, exactly, and Mailata was already on IR this year. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was at the Cowboys game this weekend, and so were you, John. I mean, Dickerson went out for, I want to say a quarter. He got hurt. Lane Johnson, he's always battling an injury. So I think even if you did play him and he gets the record, I mean, yeah, that's amazing. I mean, obviously that's awesome. But say if then that first playoff game they look a little sluggish, or Saquon looks like he's a little slow to a step, and then they lose that playoff game because maybe the run game doesn't get going, I think people will say, well, they could have rested last week. They could have come in fresh. You could have had all your horses ready to go.
Here's what I'm going to say to you, Alderson. I did not tell him to punch you up for you to disagree with me and for you to be on Team Salciunas this morning and Team Connor.
He's on the right team.
I liked your sister much better. God bless you, buddy.
Thanks, Eddie. We appreciate it, man. He's just on the right side of history. That's all.
I did not move him to the front of the line.
But that
for
was,
him to come on and agree with you two.
When I was doing the show
Eddie.
Monday, I made that point very clear that everybody would have to play. And yes, a lot of our talk is what if Saquon were to get hurt. But to Eddie's point, what if Lane Johnson got hurt? We know the stats of when Lane Johnson's playing and when he's not playing. Jordan Mailata, I just saw one of those. You know how they always have the graphs, the charts of like certain things, like this quarterback throwing under pressure. This guy put out the offensive tackle island rate and performance when left on an island, so you're not having somebody chip, you're not having somebody help you. The very top right is Lane Johnson. Right beneath him is Jordan Mailata. Mailata last year was not good.
No, he did not have a good year. He's been outstanding.
He's been ridiculous. So imagine if, God forbid, one of those two guys goes down. We're so focused on the Saquon factor of all of this. If Landon Dickerson went down, who has been hobbling a lot this year, we've seen him knee, ankle, shoulder, wrist. Becton's been hurt a lot. Not that Tyler Steen's been bad, but I would rather Dickerson or Becton than Tyler Steen in the playoff game.
Gotcha. And you make a great – no one's going to argue with that rationale.
Oh, people have argued it.
And to me, though, is Jordan Mailata feels one way and Lane Johnson feels another.
Yeah.
So those two incredible tackles feel one way or another. And, by the way, I think my numbers have been verified to me.
Okay.
On the offensive lineman. That it probably went 3-2.
3-2? I could see it.
But they didn't go with – so then if you add in Saquon's vote, it's 4-2.
And you said AJ's was rest?
Oh, no. Then if you give those guys votes, then AJ's was rest. Devontae was more iffy. But the majority vote seems like it would have been play him.
But let's talk about the wide receivers real quick while you bring them up. Because the Philadelphia Eagles this year, with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts healthy, are undefeated. The only games they've lost have been games that those guys have been out due to injury.
Yeah.
Like, you need everyone healthy. You need them. It makes you significantly more susceptible to losing in the postseason if you don't have these guys, and you'd have to play them if Saquon plays.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee that they would have gotten hurt, but again, it's avoiding the risk of them playing. And that's why and Connor's been on my side since Sunday. I just appreciate that Nick Sirianni made the right decision, John.
I got something, too, for you, though. I forgot that I had this.
Can you save it so that we can do the fear-mongering thing?
Save it. Yeah, I'll save it.
All right,
but it's something
look, trust me, we're talking about Saquon until 10 o'clock today.
Yeah, it is. We'll be all over.
But please,
this one is a Jalen Hurts thing, though.
You're gonna
There's
do
a little tasty.
You're going to do something that I really appreciate, and I will say now, I stand by John Kincaid's side on this topic.
Haley, roll the tape, is what I say when we start this. If you are among the Eagles fan base and you are, oh no, we may have to play the Packers in the wild card game. Here's what I need you to do. Put out a tweet right now and just say, I don't think the Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. I don't think the Eagles are getting to the Super Bowl. Because if you're scared of the Green Bay Packers, if you're worried about, oh my gosh, the Eagles might not be able to beat the Packers, then you don't believe in the Eagles. So just say that. Don't go to the other, well, the Packers are really scary. That's a really scary team to have to play. Really? Are they scary? Let me ask you something. They got 5 losses this year. 5, which is a really good season.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
11-5 is a good season. Who are the 5 losses to? The Eagles, twice to the Lions, twice to the Vikings. So in other words, every time Green Bay has been asked to show what they are, they have pooped themselves. They trailed the Eagles by as much as 5. That's the closest they played anybody. They trailed the Vikings by 28 in the first matchup. They trailed the Lions by 21 in the first matchup. Don't go by the final scores when teams are up by 4 touchdowns and then Jordan Love gets a bunch of garbage yards. They trailed the Lions by 21 in the first matchup, trailed the Lions by 10 in the second matchup, trailed the Vikings by 17 in the second matchup. The Green Bay Packers are a creation in the minds of, well, our own Ray Dunn and maybe some others here in the fan base. If you are scared that the Eagles can win a home playoff game after a bye week that they're creating for themselves, you're worried about that game and you're saying, man, I think the Packers are really dangerous. All I need you to do is just say, well, then I just showed it to you. Then you think they're not beating the Lions, they're not beating the Vikings. Because whenever they've been asked to show up and tell you who they are, the Green Bay Packers have come up small. So just tell everybody, I don't believe in the Eagles. Because that is what you're saying, but you're not saying it. Because you don't have the guts to say it. I want everybody to sprout a pair, if you're an Eagles fan, and just say whether they're going to win or not, whether you think they can go to a Super Bowl or not. Because if you're trying to tell me that the Packers are so dangerous, the Lions and the Vikings are decidedly more dangerous. And I could make the argument that Tampa Bay is decidedly more dangerous with their history against Jalen Hurts. Case closed.
I agree with you. Now, I will say you're allowed to have a preference. Like, I would prefer the Eagles to play the Commanders because I think they're a less talented team.
A preference is one thing.
But if they play Green Bay's going to get it. Like, come on.
I mean, come on now.
Come to Lincoln Financial Field. It's great for you. You guys made the playoffs back-to-back years. You're going to lose. And there are a lot of people, John, to your point, that are starting to do the, oh, no, wait. The Eagles will be playing the Packers if the season ended today and not the Commanders. There are people that are legitimately worried about it, and I don't know where that's coming from.
Well,
the Eagles have been the better team all season long.
They're decidedly better. And every time the Packers have had a chance to go up against one of the best teams, one of the 3 best teams in the NFC, they haven't put out. And in fact, they've trailed by 3 scores in almost every one of the games.
Yeah, I think it's a simple explanation why people are a little bit nervous about the Packers. Because for about a month and a half now, it seemed to be Washington. And we have felt divisional opponent, rookie quarterback. You saw how you played them on a short week. The only way they beat you was Jalen Hurts with a concussion. Like, you're smoking that team if they come to Lincoln Financial Field. And now you have to play a team. I think Green Bay's better than Washington. And I think people were just like heart set on it's the Commanders. And now you have to consider Jordan Love coming in here and a better team overall in the Green Bay Packers. And I think that just has people a little bit worried by comparison. I don't think they're worried by like Green Bay facing the Eagles. I think people just thought you were getting an easier opponent.
Well, if you're worried about the Packers, then you don't think they're beating the Lions. And you don't think they're beating the Vikings.
No.
Because the Vikings and the Lions literally
they're better than the Packers.
boat race this team.
You're absolutely right.
Every game.
I just think people thought it was going to be an easier matchup than this, and now we're coming to terms with it. I don't think anyone who believes in this team thinks they're losing to Green Bay.
Washington has the much more dangerous quarterback. Much more dangerous quarterback.
I don't think I can say that in the postseason.
Wow. What do you mean the postseason?
Because you haven't seen him.
He hasn't played yet, but the thing is, last year he was on this incredible roll going into the playoffs. He's not this year.
Who, Jordan Love?
He's not.
Yeah, no, I got you, but
he's not. He's a guy. He's a guy this year that against these teams, he's a 58% passer.
I got you.
He is an 8-touchdown, 5-interception guy. And by the way, his 8 touchdowns, 6 of them El Garbaggio time.
Yeah, but like Lamar Jackson is a superhuman.
He is superhuman.
He can't win in the postseason. Like he can. The only time he's had success was this past year, and he still choked it away in the AFC Championship game. Like the postseason is different, and I will never let anybody tell me differently than that.
Yeah, but I don't believe this is a guy. These games are all big games, and Jordan Love has not done well in any of them.
No. It's not.
So to me,
Jordan
I'm not
Love.
saying all of a sudden it's going to be. It's January. Jordan Love's going to be this amazing individual.
No, it's not pro Jordan Love. It's just Jaden Daniels hasn't been there. So, like, I would rather play the guy that I like has not had that experience than the guy that I've seen win in the postseason.
I get it. I get where you're coming from, but
I'm not scared of the Packers.
No, nobody should be. And there are people that are starting to do the, oh my God, I thought they were going to play the Commanders in the first round. Now there's a chance they're going to play the Packers. And there are people that are worried by it. And I do wonder if Billy the C is going to start putting out some stats.
Well, my stats are going to be better. I promise you this. My stats will be better.
We're going to have a stat off?
I just gave you all you need to know. They've had 5 opportunities to beat the 3 best teams in the NFC. They're 0-5, and Jordan Love's numbers are crap in those games.
Kincade.
Crappy.
Colorulo.
They have a lot to say. They have a lot to say.
Speaking of, coming up next, John's got a little added note to this Eagles decision.
It might, and a little insight on Jalen Hurts that was given to me yesterday.
About the Saquon decision?
No, about his concussion.
Oh. Would like to get an update on that because he is still in protocol.
That's what it's about.
Okay. I think I know where you're going with this one. It is Kincade and Salciunas. We'll also hear from you. Your reaction to Nick Sirianni making the final decision that Saquon Barkley will not be playing on Sunday. How are you feeling about it? 610-632-0975. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia 76ers guard Tyrese Maxey.
He throws it to Maxey in the corner. His 3 is up.
on this Thursday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic. Boy, Sunday's pregame show is going to be fun, huh, Connor?
Yeah, big game.
I'm looking forward to hearing it on the way down.
Join us Sunday, 10 to 1, as we get you set for last week was the battle of Pickett versus Cooper Rush. This week will be, McKee versus Drew Lock. Do they play Drew Lock after he won them a game, which they probably hated?
I'm telling you, and he lit them up.
Yeah, so
look,
if you're the Giants, do you sit Drew Lock?
Look, if you're not playing, are you playing Quinion?
No.
Are you playing Slay?
No, that's absolutely not.
Okay. So you're not playing them. You're not playing N'Kobe. You're going to give him another week.
Yeah, he definitely
You're not playing Bond then, right?
No.
Drew Lock will chew that defense up.
Yeah, so maybe the Giants go, yeah, we're not going to play him on Sunday. They might call John Kincade to play quarterback for the Giants. Would you sign a one-day contract to play for the Giants?
No.
Why not?
Unless I get
not the Giants.
Not unless I get a pension.
I'd do that in a heartbeat.
I did say, I think
You
it
don't
was
want
the
to
day
see
you were
me
out.
out there.
I would play for the Eagles if they need a roster spot filled
That's
to
true.
rest guys. I'm available. I'm good. Arm feels great.
See, it does?
yeah.
Well, they're not using you
feels
for
great.
the arm.
Well, maybe. You
What
never
would they
know.
use you for? They would put.
No, they use him for a body.
They'd put him with the exciting whites.
Yes.
Oh,
They would put
I
you.
played corner in high school.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Let's
They would
go.
put you with the exciting whites. It
This
would
is
be
the
just.
OG Cooper
They would just
DeJean.
be the less exciting whites.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean said he based his career off of Connor Thomas.
And he goes.
He did. I'll play that.
Rancocas
guy.
Valley's best.
He watched some of the Rancocas Valley tape.
All right, can you give me this insight on Jalen Hurts that you have for
Here's
us?
what I'm going to give you because a lot of people are asking this question about Jalen Hurts and concussion protocol. So I asked an esteemed NFL insider who is not Adam Schefter. Yesterday I said I'm a little concerned that this is still going on. And this person has talked to members of the Eagles.
Okay.
And he said to me, and I quote, "You have to be tested to come out of concussion protocol."
So, he just hasn't been tested yet.
that answer to me is they're not even testing.
Yeah.
That's what that means. Now, so I said, it still makes me anxious. This person responded to me with this. If Sunday's game meant the top seed in the NFC, I have zero doubt in my mind that Jalen Hurts would have been under center. That's all.
Okay.
I believe we need to know.
That's good. Yeah.
That's all I believe we need to know.
I wouldn't expect anything else.
No,
like that.
But that made me feel better because I was literally crossing T's, dotting I's going, wait a minute, why is Jalen still in the thing? And he goes, you have to be tested to come out of protocol.
Right.
So they just didn't test. Maybe they'll test him today.
Maybe.
Maybe they'll test him today.
Saturday.
Maybe they'll test him Saturday.
Why not?
But they have no intention of playing him this weekend. So what's the use of doing that?
Yeah. Well, he can't practice if he's in
Correct.
protocol. And I would
Correct.
like him to practice.
So
So
you want him out there practicing? Yeah.
Yeah, the sooner the
Can I ask you that, Johnny? Because I'm
Sure.
also not worried about that either. The
Okay.
rust factor. There's a lot of people that are worried that
About rust.
specifically Hertz, because obviously Saquon's not gonna
Sure.
No, they're not gonna be rusty, but Hertz because he's not played since the first quarter of the Commanders game. I'm not worried about rust at all.
I am a little concerned.
Okay.
Thank you, Johnny.
A little. I'm
Wow, 'cause he agrees with you?
I am not.
Yes.
I am not the. Oh my gosh, the Packers are going to come to town.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned like those people, but I am. I am definitely have some concern.
It'll be like 25 days since he played a complete football game by the time that you play your wild card matchup. It just feels like a long time going into a win or go home game. I'm not saying play him Sunday, but I'd be lying to you if I said it's not in the back of my mind.
No, it absolutely is. It
Not
absolutely
even a
is
thought
in the
that
back.
crossed my mind.
Absolutely in the back of my
I have
mind.
a lot of thoughts, and that's not one of them.
But remember, though, Connor, the only thing I'd say about it is this, is that he didn't play. After the Bears game, he came back and he played in that final Giants game.
Yeah.
Here's where it plays to our point. He looked like crap in that last regular season game
Shoulder
against the
injury.
Giants. He did not look good.
Shoulder injury.
He
And he
did not
didn't
look
and he
good.
didn't want to run because he had the shoulder injury. Threw him off a little bit.
Nah, you're right. Brain injury,
Could be.
much easier. Come on.
Telling you this.
Let's go to Tim in Jenkintown. What's up, Tim?
Hey, guys. This was a weird year where, the bottom seed only had 4 losses. And so I don't think anyone's afraid of Green Bay, but it is definitely a more difficult matchup than, historically speaking, where you're playing a team that might be closer to 500.
I got you, but you're still the better team.
Green Bay is the same record as the Packers. They're ahead of the Packers. The Commanders. The Commanders are ahead of the Packers.
Yeah, I'm not arguing who's a worse matchup.
No, but I keep hearing how dangerous they are. The Commanders have had a better season.
Yeah, me personally, I'd rather play Green Bay anyway because I do think Daniels is a tougher quarterback to match up against.
He absolutely is. A scrambling quarterback is absolutely more dangerous for this team.
Yeah. Now, typically speaking, also, it's very difficult to get to the Super Bowl if you're not the number 1 or number 2 seed. I know KC did it last year as a 3, but, that 1 week off, I think, really matters. And no one complains or is worried after a bye week when you get that rest. Typically, coaches do much better when their team is off. So I was always for them resting everyone. And many people said that the Giants were a good matchup. The defense stinks. Maybe they gave up. I always thought it was a terrible matchup because they already suffered the embarrassment of letting him walk to the Eagles. And now they're going to further, suffer embarrassment by allowing him to get this record on them. I just think they're thinking, we'll stack 9 men in the box. You guys can score 50 on us. We don't care. We want to lose. But you're not going to get it on the ground, and he's not going to get the record.
Well, and that's the other thing, Tim, and thanks for the call, dude. The Giants do stink, right? And
the Giants are terrible.
And Connor and I were saying on this on Monday, if he did play, he would get the record because the Giants stink.
Sure he would.
But they do know what's coming. Like if Saquon played, they weren't going to be fooled that Saquon was running the football.
And Jalen not being under center, they're going to say, beat us with your arm, Tanner McKee, which changes how they play defense.
Right. And so it would have made it a little bit more difficult for Saquon to break the record, which then would have carried it in the second half, which for all the people that say, oh, well, just give him the first half. Well, what if it went into the second half? And you have said that you would have played him until he got the record.
I would have played it until he got the record.
All right, coming up next, we reset the show. We have today's headlines with Connor Thomas and also a narrative that I think needs to be just ended about this Saquon decision.
Okay.
We'll go through that coming up next. I've seen it a lot on social media. It's Kincade and Salciunas. Good to be back together with Johnny on Thursday morning right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Rest over records. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Hillside, Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. The Eagles are prioritizing rest over records when they take on the Giants on Sunday. Yesterday, Nick Seriani talked about the starters and made his decision about whether or not they will be playing versus the Giants, and he decided that sitting some of the starters was the more prudent decision.
We're locked into that number 2 seed, so we're going to rest some guys. There are going to be some guys that are resting. There are going to be some guys that are in reserve roles. You can't obviously rest everybody with the roster, and so that's our plan.
Just like the coach said, the Eagles are indeed locked into that 2 seed. It's now a waiting game to see who they'll take on in the first round of the NFC playoffs. But right now, it appears that the Green Bay Packers will be the Eagles' first matchup at Lincoln Financial Field. This also means that Saquon Barkley will finish the season short of Eric Dickerson's all-time rushing record, but he did hit that 2,000-yard threshold, a major accomplishment in its own right. The Sixers fell to the Kings last night, 113-107. The loss snaps a 4-game win streak for the Sixers. Paul George, 30 points in the loss. They'll take on the Warriors tonight at 10 p.m. You can hear that game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers will take on the Vegas Golden Knights tonight at 10 p.m. That game will be on our sister station, WMMR. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philly Sports.
a.m. on this Thursday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic. We have today's headlines with Connor Thomas coming up at 8:05, and then I got to try to get a narrative out of the conversation. I'll do that at 8:10. But, Johnny, we have snacks to give away and also an awesome pair of tickets to give away as well. So we're going to be very busy from now until 10 o'clock. We have eight boxes of Y snacks to give away. We love Y snacks.
We're not giving away a bag.
No, the box, man. The box of chips are amazing. And also, every winner will also get a pair of tickets for the Philly Auto Show. So we're giving away 16 Auto Show tickets
we're giving
over
away
the next 2 hours.
15 because you're going to steal a pair for you and Cooper to go.
Yes.
You got to go.
I will be taking Cooper there, and he's going to lose his freaking mind.
It's going to be awesome.
But it's a Wise Snacks Thursday. And how about we give away a pair now on the contest line, 215-263-0975. If you call now, you'll get a pair of tickets for the 2025 Philly Auto Show, which is January 11th through the 20th. So that's coming your way in a couple of weeks at the PA Convention Center. And all winners will also get the variety box of Wise Snacks. Munch the good vibe on game day with Wise Snacks. So, of course, you can have that on Sunday during a game that means nothing, but then you can also prepare your playoff party. Right? Because I know a lot of people like to do that 2 weeks from now.
Oh, yeah.
When they take on the Packers or the Commanders. So 215-263-0975. Our first caller to the contest line will win one of the variety packs and then also a pair of tickets to the auto show. We'll be doing this 7 more times throughout the show from now until 10 o'clock. 215-263-0975. All right, so obviously we've been talking about the decision to rest Saquon Barkley and the starters. I know a lot of people are bothered by it because they would like to have seen history.
Yeah, they want to see history, and you get that.
I totally get it.
We all understand all sides of the argument.
Yes.
Like, none of us are saying that we don't understand something.
I just didn't understand, like, the vitriol that I received on Sunday and Monday when I was very adamant, like, he shouldn't play.
Okay, well, I absolutely would give you that vitriol.
All right.
Because I didn't realize
wrong.
it. I didn't realize it that you were tweeting during the game.
Yeah.
He needs to be out of that game.
Yeah.
Absurd. Like, I look at that and just say, that's absurd.
Bigger picture, John. I'm a big picture guy.
No, then honestly, you're like Bubble Wrap Boy. Like, I mean, it says.
Well, I'm a Joel Embiid fan.
There was no. Oh, you are. Yeah, there was no reason.
Come on, man. You know who you're talking to?
There was absolutely no reason for him to be out of that game on Sunday. None.
Injury, one.
Yeah.
None.
That's the biggest one, man. That was a season high of carries,
because you
31.
See, here is where it goes, is because what you did is you saw, we saw that last week a number was important to them. Today a number isn't important to them.
No, the big picture is important.
That's where the contradiction of it all comes into play, is that, it didn't matter.
Or it was a compromise. Hey, Saquon, I'll let you get to 2,000. But
I think, they went into that game. And they made it clear that they did go into that game.
Saquon said himself, I was not coming out of the game until I got to 2,000.
Correct. And that was on the words of one of the guys who is against him playing this week in Lane Johnson.
Yeah, you're right. But Lane Johnson definitely in favor of the starters not playing. Let's play Lane one more time, Connor. Lane Johnson was on Good Morning Football yesterday, and this was before the decision was made. But he was asked yesterday about what his preference would have been.
We just got a couple of days off, which we really hadn't got for most of the year. So that was big after this past win. So what's the risk versus reward? Would we like to have a full strength team, or would you want to risk having somebody injured for the playoffs, which happened last year, by the way, in the loss of Tampa. So know what we're playing for and remember from past experiences.
And the past experience, of course, is A.J. Brown going down. And no, did I think they were going to win the Super Bowl last year? Absolutely not. But did their season pretty much die the second A.J. Brown went down? Kind of felt that way.
It was a steaming pile of poop before then, though.
Yeah, it was dead.
AJ was part of the poop, too. He was part of the steaming pile.
Part of the poop.
He wasn't. Him and Jalen doing their nonsense in the Seattle game. It all started with that.
Yeah, but then they had absolutely zero chance of winning a playoff game. As soon as
No. Now here's where you may have thought that. I went into that game saying I thought the Eagles were going to win 17-13. I thought they were going to beat Tampa, and it was going to be what I said. This is going to be ugly and atrocious to watch.
And you know what? The defense actually played well the first 3 quarters of that game.
They did until they realized that no one was coming to their rescue.
Yeah, because the offense sucked that.
Oh, it was so terrible.
All right, it is 8:06. Time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
What do we got, CT?
I almost forgot where the button was. It's been a while since I've done this.
It has.
We got some good stuff in here. First and foremost, there has been some football going on that matters more than like the Eagles game this weekend, and that is the college football playoff. Had a banger of a game yesterday on New Year's Day between Arizona State and Texas.
3rd and 8. Levitt. That ball's intercepted. It is intercepted. Makuma seals it. Hook 'em horns. They're headed home to Texas to play in the Cotton Bowl.
But my question to you guys, just in general, not so much about that game. What have you thought about the college football playoff bowl games and that so far?
That was a good game.
The only one.
The only one. I mean, Johnny.
That was a good fourth quarter.
Johnny's been right from the beginning about certain teams getting buys. Like Boise State had 0 shot winning that game against Penn State. Good for Penn State. Good
right,
for them.
It's good
I'm not
for
a Penn State
but
fan,
they should not have had a bye.
They should have had the bye, if anyone. Penn
State and Texas should have had buys.
Yeah, it should have been SMU versus Boise in the first round.
That's where we screwed up. No. One of the better teams that played should have gotten to play that game against Boise.
Correct.
I mean,
yeah.
2 of the 3 worst teams, or 2 of the 4 worst teams, got buys. But they're going to change that. By the way, they did say this weekend they think there is enough movement that the top 4 teams will get the bye next year.
Yeah, Johnny, I also owe you an apology. I said there'd be an upset in the first round. I said someone's going to figure it out. They did not. You were absolutely right.
Yeah, but yesterday, though, got really harem-scarum.
It did.
And there was absolutely a chance in that second round game for Texas that they could have lost. In fact, I think they got total home cooking on that targeting call. It was absolutely, that is by the letter of the law, that should have been a 15-yard penalty. They didn't have a kicker. They would have had to get down.
If their kicker made 2 field goals.
Well, they would have had, no, Texas had 2 field goals missed, but the kicker was terrible.
I don't think referees know what a head is.
I don't
they
understand
can't find
it.
face masks. They can't find targeting.
The bottom line is that it's crazy to me that Oregon, the best team in the country, got to have Ohio State as their reward, and Penn State, who didn't win their conference, has played 2 weak sisters to advance to the semifinal. It was a horrible system.
Yeah, it's weird, and they're going to change it.
They're going to change it.
But I do need Notre Dame to win today because I need to see the Battle of Pennsylvania.
No.
No, I need to see the battle. I need to see the Battle of the Frauds, man.
I want to see Brendan Gunsad.
I want to see the Battle of the Frauds. The guys that didn't go to these colleges that are the biggest fans of these colleges.
This will be the Walmart Alumni Bowl.
They
should call it. They should. The Walmart Alumni Bowl. Between all these people who didn't go to Penn State and all these people who didn't go to Notre Dame.
Yeah, man.
And all Delco will just shut down.
It'll be the battle of #WeAre versus the Irish tattoo on the calf. Now, I can't wait for it,
And by the way,
man.
if the Irish can't beat Georgia with their backup quarterback, they're never going to have a chance to beat them. So we'll see what happens.
What else
Ian
we
Book's
got?
available.
What else we got, Kyle?
Exactly.
Let's go on. So this is interesting. A blast from the past here from one Alshon Jeffrey. Now, Alshon Jeffrey was on a
I saw him on
podcast with
Sunday.
Barstool Sports, and he had something interesting. I want your guys' take on this.
All the quarterbacks I ever played with, Jay Cutler is by far the most talented, and he break it down the film, but also he will also be like, Alshon, do what you do, and I'll make an adjustment off you. And I feel like that sometimes that's not rare, because also I need you to do this with the quarterback, and then Jalen's like that too. Like, just do what you do, and I'll make an adjustment off you.
So not so much the Jalen part. I know that brings up the Eagles, but Jay Cutler, the most talented quarterback.
I don't disagree with him at all.
Ooh.
He was really good. He was just a freaking lunatic.
He's a lunatic.
He's a lunatic.
I absolutely don't agree with him. I don't disagree with him.
He had
at
a
all.
rocket. Jay Cutler had a freaking rocket. Could move a little bit too. He just was a lunatic.
No, he's a bit of a diva.
Yeah.
As a guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy diva.
But he never went 27-2, dog.
And by
I
the
might
way-
take Nick Foles.
No, Nick Foles did not. Nick Foles is no.
Jay Cutler was a really good quarterback. He was just
How about this?
again a lunatic.
Connor, if Nick Foles and Jay Cutler were standing in front of 32 general managers, always they do this, 32 general managers would have taken their chances with Cutler.
Yeah. Now the thing is,
general managers would not have a Super Bowl.
now the thing is, he then mentions the
Well,
Jalen.
no, it's because Nick Foles got to step into a team with a 1 seed.
He
Yes,
mentioned the
very fair.
Jalen factor. Jalen does not turn the ball over the way Jay Cutler would turn the ball over. That was Jay Cutler's problem. He was like Brett Favre. But not as good as Brett Favre. Like let me throw stupid passes, but I have this rifle of an arm. It's what Josh Allen was trending toward until Josh Allen turned his career around, and that's why he's going to win MVP this year.
Yeah, let's finish out with a replay of what we started with.
Yeah. Where are you falling when it comes to the decision made by Nick Sirianni and the team yesterday that Saquon Barkley will not be playing Sunday against the Giants?
I mean, I couldn't tell you guys how much I'm in favor of this. Like, as much as you said, John, there are decisions on both sides.
Sure.
Like, here's the thing I think about when you say, like, there's an argument because there's dueling opinions. We've had people tell us that Kenny Pickett should start over Jalen Hurts. We've had people tell us that Tanner McKee should have started over Kenny Pickett. Just because there's a dissenting opinion doesn't mean that it's right.
No, did you see, by the way, that did you still see people? Because I saw you responded to someone on Twitter. Were people still saying, man, Kenny Pickett's showing why he should be the starter?
No.
Because they're ridiculous.
No,
if they are.
I didn't see that at all. But we've had callers, and it's a small bit, but that's my biggest point to the argument of, like, if somebody believes Saquon should play in that locker room, it doesn't make them right. Just because there's an opinion to be had. People have wrong opinions all the time. And
you should know.
I think it's... Well, yeah, not you, of course, Mr. Perfect. But there's a lot of times where you look at the dissenting opinion and say, that's blatantly incorrect. And I think this is one of those times.
Very good.
All right.
I think that's well said.
Great job, Connor. Great job, CT18. All right, before we get back to our...
By the way, do you think that... I had someone ask me at the family Christmas party.
Okay.
Do you think CT18 at any time was one of Connor's passwords?
No, I don't think it was.
No, but it was a username or something.
For like his AOL account or something. That maybe he, his AOL Messenger.
No, my password's password. Nobody hack my stuff. I'm going to trust all you guys.
All right, before we get back to our phones and text messages, again, we're asking the question. Now that you know the decision was made, how are you feeling about it? And I am curious how many people had their opinion change now that the decision was made. Because there are a lot of people, if the Eagles say it, then it's gospel.
Oh, yes.
And on Sunday and Monday, I was getting attacked. I understood why. But now the decision was made. Is there somebody going, yeah, you know what? Now that I've slept on it, I think the right decision was made.
I'm sorry I didn't attack you, but I was just enjoying the game.
Off. I was just
enjoying. No, but I was enjoying the game. I wasn't on my phone at the game.
Well, yeah, it was daddy-daughter game,
awesome.
man. It's awesome.
And daughter went and got me a beer.
That's a big moment, man.
And she got her black cherry seltzer.
Yeah, sure, man. Delicious.
Or something. Jeez.
Delicious.
Terrible.
Yuck.
Terrible.
No, delicious.
Black cherry seltzer. She goes, Dad, try some.
Yeah, it's good.
I said, oof. I was like, I've had
my first choice,
I
but
said,
it's
I've
good.
had cough medicine in my life.
Nah, it's good. Not my first choice, but it's good. Come on, man. Don't hate.
It was awful.
It's like the people that say one cheesesteak's better than another. They're all the same. 610-632-0975. No, they all taste differently. However, they're all good. All right.
Except that one place DeCecco took me.
No, that place is great.
That was terrible.
Something that needs to be taken out of the narrative.
Okay,
of
what
the
is it?
Saquon thing. I got a tweet last night from Tom Doc 13.
Wait a minute. Okay, no, I was going to say. Not my brother's Tom. He's Doc.
Trust me, I thought of it right away.
There you go.
And I've seen this on social media a lot.
All right, what is it?
So he agrees that the Eagles made the right choice to sit Saquon on Sunday.
Okay.
However, he's saying, but you better go win the Super Bowl now, because if you don't, ... He didn't say what would happen. We can't do that with everything. So if the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl, it was not the point. Like he made the wrong decision. So if you trade for a superstar at the MLB trade deadline that everybody wants, and they don't win the World Series, you better win.
What I would say is this. That is absolutely, you're absolutely correct.
Yes.
You're correct. But what I would also say is, then you sure as hell, against the Packers, better come out like a freaking Lamborghini.
Oh, I agree.
Rested, fresh, well game planned and everything. And if you don't,
well, it wouldn't be
John,
it wouldn't be anything new with this team.
But if you don't, then you absolutely are worthy of whatever criticism you take.
But it wouldn't be anything new, dude. If they don't put up points in the first quarter.
No, but I'm not even talking about points. If you don't look great coming out after all this rest that you had to have, the rest so critical, then you better come out blazing.
Okay. And then I'm fine.
Now,
I'll meet you there.
But winning a Super Bowl, forget it.
Well,
that's
the
ridiculous.
So,
that's ridiculous.
Like, if they lose in the NFC Championship game,
it's not going to.
What is like? Oh, you better win a Super Bowl, or else.
I'm going to tell you right now, unless they lose the NFC title game at home, there'll be no criticism from me as far as, man, that team blew it. They they go 28-3, they pull a Falcons maybe.
Yeah, then you'll have a different conversation.
But I mean, if you're talking about them just losing, this team, I thought all along would get to the NFC title game as long as they get there.
But I've seen this narrative a lot, and I'll bring up the baseball analogy. Like, I remember people didn't want to trade for Shohei Ohtani,
right,
for ridiculous reasons, but. One person said, well, if you trade for him, you have to win the World Series or it's worthless.
No, that's not right.
That's not true.
No, it's not right.
The point of decisions that you make are to try to better your team.
You're trying
put
to
them in the best position possible.
You're trying to maximize the opportunity.
If the Eagles, God forbid, lose to whoever they play in the first round, it would have nothing to do with Saquon Barkley not breaking Eric Dickerson's rushing record.
I would agree with you.
And that narrative has to go away.
But again, and I'll say it again, you go out and you play like crap against the Packers after all your rest and you look rusty and you don't look sharp, then absolutely I will be revisiting. I would revisit that in a second.
Even though it would be nothing new.
No. Is that no? Because
Tell me how many first quarter points they have this year.
They've looked better in the first quarter this recently.
Recently,
offensively and defensively,
very recently.
They have, but they planned for this. This is why they've been slow starts all year because they knew their rests in Week 18.
Damn right,
now they're going to be used to the slow start. See, this is galaxy brain stuff from the Eagles.
It's smart. It's smart. Let's go to our man Michael and Yardley. What's up, Michael?
What's up, Mike?
What's up? Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, brother.
Foremost, Happy New Year's. Connor, good job holding down the fort while we were on break. Yeah, of course. So I feel like a proud dad because I feel like we've watched Nick Sirianni mature and grow up this season. I am 100% behind him on this decision, and it's just for the simple fact that we had that bye week that we needed. We had that bye week, week 5, and the teams that we might face had bye weeks so much later on in the season, week 10, week 14. The style of hard-nosed football that our team plays, it would just as a football player myself, it would work wonders to have that week off, resting your body before the playoffs as if we were the 1 seed, which is what we were gunning for and hoping for, right? So we could have that bye week and the home field advantage. So I'm just happy. I'm looking at this from the perspective of Nick Sirianni because I feel like the real Nick Seriani, at least the one from last year, he would want records. He would want to stick it to the Giants because that's his like kind of bravado nature. So for him to like kind of hold back and say, all right, we're going to think big picture, I think that's him growing up.
Yeah, I mean, look, and we've talked about why is it different from 2021 with Devontae Smith to now, and I agree with you. I think a lot of that has to do with how he's changed, and I also do believe in. Thanks for the call, Mike, as always.
Thanks, Mike.
They weren't winning the Super Bowl in 2021.
They were not.
They have a chance to win the Super Bowl this year. We're not saying it's a lock, right?
No, they have a chance.
This decision does not lock anything in. The only thing that it locks is that Saquon we know that he'll be healthy for the playoff game because there's a chance that he could have gotten banged up. There's a chance that he could have rushed for 200 yards in the first quarter, and none of this conversation would have mattered. But they made that decision. I do believe that the 2021 Devontae Smith thing that we keep on bringing up, they weren't winning anything.
I don't think that team was going to win a damn thing.
And so he probably said, you know what? Let me give Devontae this because we're going to lose to Tampa in the first round anyway. To Tom Brady.
Got a chance.
You know? That's all. All right, give us a text there, Connor, and then we'll move on to some of our other topics today because there's something I want to do coming up next.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. We have a text here, no name on this one. They say, they made the right decision. I'm extremely confident the Giants would have done everything possible to make sure Saquon didn't get the record. They have nothing to lose except draft positioning, so they probably go 9 in the box every play and dare you to throw. The record would have been cool, but the rest is more important to the long-term goal.
Absolutely. At least that's how I feel. Now, coming up next, I want to do this. We'll obviously continue this discussion because that's the main topic of the day. But we're so focused on what could have been and what will not happen because he's not playing on Sunday. How about we actually look back at what did happen this year? Because he still rushed for over 2,000 yards, John. Crazy. So let's talk about some of the brilliance that Saquon Barkley put on the field this year.
And there were times maybe where this could have been a moot point. They could have already had that 100 yards.
Oh, all right.
Over a collection of games.
We'll get into that coming up next, as well as Kincade Salciunas on this Thursday morning. Happy New Year, Philadelphia, right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Eagles going with the backups. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Gary Barbera. Is Gary Barbera the best? Boy, I guess. New year, new car. See Gary Barbera's Dallas Sucks bus. Coach Nick picks Barbera, so drive like Brandon Graham and Coach Nick. Is Barbera the best? Boy, I guess. DallasStillSucks.com. The Eagles are taking on the Giants Sunday, or rather the Eagles' backups are. Yesterday, Nick Seriani said that the starters will be resting. Since the game doesn't have any seeding implications, here's exactly what the coach had to say.
We're locked into that number 2 seed, so we're going to rest some guys. There's going to be some guys that are resting. There are going to be some guys that are in reserve roles. You can't obviously rest everybody with the roster, and so that's our plan.
Now, obviously a controversial decision to some, as Saquan Barkley was potentially in line for breaking Eric Dickerson's all-time rushing record. Unfortunately, now that becomes something that will not be possible for him. 2,000 yards, not a bad consolation prize. But the Eagles are locked into the 2 seed. It's now a waiting game to see who they'll take on in the first round of the NFC playoffs. Right now, if the season ended today, it would be the Green Bay Packers. The Sixers fell to the Kings last night, 113-107. The loss snaps a 4-game win streak. Paul George did have 30 points in the loss. The Sixers will take on the Warriors tonight at 10 p.m. That game will be live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers take on the Vegas Golden Knights tonight, also at 10 p.m. You can hear that game live on WMMR. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Not only can you listen to The Fanatic, but you can also watch on 97.5 The Fanatic's YouTube channel.
Watch the live stream of Kincade and Salciunas, weekdays from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. and the Mike Missanelli Show from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Go to youtube.com/97.5 The Fanatic Philadelphia and subscribe today to be part of the action.
My friends at Benari Jewelers are going to take great care of you as we head down to the holiday. The clock is ticking, guys, on you getting the perfect gift. Here's what I would assure you. When she gets the gift from Benari, she's going to know you took a little extra effort this time around. You thought about her. Is it a gift that she can wear every day? Is it a pendant necklace? Or maybe some dazzling earrings? Or maybe it's the big date night gift. Maybe it's a diamond tennis bracelet or diamond stud earrings. They're always a hit. The Benari experience is just going to be different for her and you. She's going to know that you got her the best, and you're going to know that you got treated with great respect. And honestly, they walk you through the process of buying. It makes it so easy. Get on in. Are you looking for an engagement ring? Benari's got the best. They're a direct diamond importer. You can get the diamond she deserves and the ring she wants and stay in budget. Check out Benari Jewelers. Everything about Benari is extraordinary. Town Square.
8:28 on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Clearly, the holiday season is over because I'm starting to see faces that I haven't seen in a while, like John Kincade.
Thank you very much for that.
Let me throw you under the bus.
Throw me under one.
Well, welcome back. All right, so obviously the majority of our talking point today has been about the decision that was made. And Saquan Barkley will officially not be playing on Sunday. So we would love to hear from you at 610-632-0975. You can text in or call. It's the exact same number. And both ways to contact us. And let us know how you're feeling about the decision. And I am curious, how many of you were pro-play him, and then when the decision was made, are you now saying that's the right decision? Because I know a lot of people
that were, wait a minute, that now they're on board when they heard the decision?
Yes, they're, oh my God.
Because like Jeff from D.C., he doesn't like it.
Right.
But he understands it.
But he understands it.
And anybody who's like me who doesn't like it, they still understand.
I just wonder, again, I'm thinking specifically about the show that we did, Connor and I did on Monday, where there were a lot of people that were like, because Connor also agreed with me that he should not play, as you've heard Connor all day today.
I've heard you two wussy boys. I'm coworkers today.
Well, trust me, we heard it from a lot of people that were upset that we had to, it's you know what was really funny that I found out, John?
What's that?
The term hot take is now just thrown out there.
Oh, come on.
Constantly. So the hot take, we were the hot take guys. You would think that trying to be careful would not be the hot take.
No, I would think going against the chance for football immortality, if somebody was going to incorrectly label something hot take, that would be it.
You think the hot take is to not go for the record?
The hot take, if someone was going to use it incorrectly, the hot take would be ignore what Saquon Barkley wants to do. Ignore it.
Dude, I think
ignore going for history.
I think the hot take is, hey, you're not guaranteed a Super Bowl, so let's go for this.
Well, that's what I just tweeted that out because it was a summary of our earlier conversation. I said resting your Eagles starters in the final game doesn't mean they have to win a Super Bowl to make it a good decision.
Right. Correct.
That would be unfair. It sure as hell does mean we better see the benefits to the rest.
I agree.
In their first playoff game. That is totally fair game.
100%. Now, John, I just want you, because we don't have the chance to talk to the people long enough to get through the mental processes. So let's say Saquon was the play on Sunday and he was injured. What is the reaction to that on the side of someone who could see him playing? Is it?
Well, someone who could see him playing would be, oh my gosh. Did that happen? Oh, damn it.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking it would be.
I'd say season over.
My argument to this would be there is no, oh, damn it, reaction to resting him.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. There absolutely, there's never, not taking risk in life. There's never going to be anything but potential regret. If you don't take risk in life, the only thing you risk is regret.
This is fun. Let's talk through this. So what would the regret be of sitting him? Would it be the
regret would
Eagles
be
get bounced?
He doesn't break the record.
They come out, he doesn't get the record, so he doesn't get immortality. And I'm always hearing things like, Mike Sealski has a great piece up today. Column all about it. The pros and cons of why you don't want to rest him. And he said he understands the decision, but it's like everybody talks about these moments in time here in town. Like the Embiid 70-point night.
Yep.
Like the Halliday perfect game. The Halliday no-hitter against the Reds in the wild card round. Things like that. You talk about these moments forever. We're missing an opportunity for a forever.
Well,
guess what? None of those came with a ring. None of those seasons ended with a championship.
I talk about the Eagles' 2017 Super Bowl before I talk about any moment from that season. The first moment that comes to my mind is the Patrick Robinson pick six, but that comes after BG's strip sack. That comes after Zach Ertz on fourth down.
No, I get you.
That comes after the Phillies special.
No,
when I think about the 2017 Eagles season, which, by the way, was spectacular. They won 13 games that year.
They did.
I talk about them winning the Lombardi Trophy before I talk about anything else.
That's fair.
If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, I'm not going to sit here and go, man, you know what would have been really cool if he also broke the record. I would just talk about the Super Bowl. And, oh, by the way, he did reach a pantheon that not many players have made of 2,000 rushing yards.
But he has the opportunity to really do it. and you're saying, nah, we're good. And he wants to go get it.
Well, yeah, he does
He
want it.
wants to go get
And
it.
I don't blame him for wanting it.
He doesn't know what playoff success is like. He played with the Giants. He's never had
He did win a
T-shirt game.
He won a playoff game.
But they came in as a wild card. He's never had a hat and T-shirt game. When he gets that
That's
ring,
right.
he's going to say, "Hey, this was way better."
So
great to have that T-shirt.
So let's do this real quick because we're focused so much on what is not happening.
All right.
Saquon Barkley accomplished a freaking ton this season, and I don't want that to be forgotten just because his chance to break a record is not going to happen. My sister got me the T-shirt the other day of him doing the backwards hurdle. That was my Christmas gift,
That's
right?
That's a cute T-shirt.
And it's an awesome freaking T-shirt. And if you just look back at his numbers this year, man, he had 255 rushing yards in a game. 255
against the Rams.
Yes,
which was incredible.
55.
Yes. By the way, a Rams team you could very well face in your second.
I think they beat
playoff
the
game.
Commanders.
Well, if they beat the Commanders, then you're guaranteed you're going to be playing them.
Yeah.
Unless Tampa finished ahead of them, you're going to get the Rams here in South Philly, and Saquon may run for 500.
Oh, I already said on. Oh, you missed this because we do the good topics when you're not here.
Exactly. You keep
the
good
NFC
content.
Championship game will be at Lincoln Financial Field.
Oh, so now okay?
I think the
There.
Eagles beat Eagles beat the Packers. The Rams beat the Commanders. Eagles beat the Rams, and I believe whoever the 5 seed is wins.
Be Minnesota.
So Minnesota beats.
I would right now. Are you leaning Minnesota or Lions for 5?
Minnesota.
Minnesota for 5.
Sorry, Minnesota for 1.
So you're saying Minnesota's going into Detroit this weekend and winning?
Yeah,
possible. Not. No, it's of course it's possible.
Well, yeah, thanks, Andrew.
No,
but I'm telling you,
okay, by tomorrow, tell us who's winning that game.
Okay, I will.
Because I do believe I would love to see Minnesota get the 1.
Well, because here's the thing: the Lions.
I want to see Minnesota get the 1.
The Lions not getting a rest week when they have all these injuries is bad for them.
And the Lions are not winning 3 road games to go to the Super Bowl.
No
so
chance.
To me, I think the Lions are the more dangerous team. I want them to be the 5.
Or the Lions beat the Vikings, and then they have to come here.
That'd be fine.
I think
But
the Eagles are hosting the NFC Championship.
The Lions are not winning 3 road playoff games.
Correct.
To go to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
So I would rather see them go through that. Minnesota absolutely isn't. Absolutely is not. And I am willing to say, Christina asked me yesterday at lunch. She said, what do you think? The Eagles go in the Super Bowl? I said, I will tell you, I don't think the Eagles are losing at home. So I don't think they're losing at home. So if they get 3 home games, I think they're going to the Super Bowl.
I think they're playing at home.
There you go.
On January 26th. I've known that date from you.
I have.
You've been telling me that date since before the season started. So for anybody that goes, you guys were talking about how this season was done, John Kincade, since the summertime, had January 26th, and not just in Sharpie, etched in stone.
No, and I said, you're going to have to work that day. And I said, I was very confident in this team, like that they were going to be exactly what they are. Was I chesty about them being a Super Bowl champ? No. Am I chesty about them today being a Super Bowl champ? No.
NFC champion, though.
NFC champion, I absolutely can. No, if it's a road through there, look, we're going to New Orleans.
Yeah,
so let's just do
it's
it.
chest day on Kincade and Salciunas.
And by the way,
man.
the people in New Orleans, I just again our thoughts and prayers.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
It's crazy because because we did so much in the South with New Orleans, like Sugar Bowl broadcasts and stuff like that.
I imagine.
Like I've walked that block at that Walgreens corner where that bastard took that truck down.
Yeah.
I have walked that path hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And sometimes not as sober as I am right now.
I can only
It's
imagine.
unbelievable.
All right, so backwards hurdle, take that out. What's your favorite Saquon Barkley moment this season?
Wow. Okay, one moment?
Yeah, what's one of your favorite moments?
My favorite moment is Nick Seriani going to him on the bench and saying, you got a chance to set the all-time game mark. Let someone else eat.
That's cool.
That's where I absolutely went from boy crush to falling in love with Saquon Barkley. That was the moment.
Connor?
Nuking the city of Los Angeles after halftime. Just coming out of halftime and immediately taking it to the house. That game was like kind of in a weird spot, too.
Well, first quarter was weird.
Yeah, and Saquon at halftime was just like, yeah, you guys are dead. 75 to the house. It's over. Like, that was unbelievable. And that just showed that was the quickest, like, he can flip a game all year, I think. I know he had bigger runs, but just like the the juxtaposition with halftime right into your game and your chance to win this is over was awesome.
I'm going to go back very, very far, and I'm going out of the country.
Oh, Green Bay?
And it wasn't even running the football. It was the catch that he had. Remember the first touchdown?
That was his first touchdown.
Jalen threw a beautiful pass, and Saquon was falling down backwards when he caught it. And I just remember, Connor, you were with me. You were at my house watching the game. I remember being like, oh, my God, he's an Eagle.
He's an Eagle.
He's an Eagle.
I thought we would see that all year long. Him being a weapon in the passing game, and he has not been.
He's had two pretty big drops. The Atlanta game, and then the other day against the
very
Commanders.
next game.
The Commanders game made a big drop as well.
Well, yeah. If AJ,
Or
Saquon,
Devontae.
or Devontae was the worst one.
Yeah.
But if AJ, Saquon, or Devontae, either one of them caught a ball against the Commanders, that game's over too.
By the way, for this? Oh, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but we got a text bringing up a drop pass. I hate to do this to Saquon because I love the guy. But Ryan checks in and says, I would say to Saquon that if he wanted to play, then maybe he should have caught the ball against the Falcons.
I was about to say, I saw somebody ripping Devontae online yesterday. If Devontae makes that catch, they're playing for the 1 seed.
Wow.
If Saquon makes that catch, they're playing for the 1 seed.
Or if AJ Brown catches that along the sideline.
We can't do this.
No.
Like, I saw somebody legitimately say, like, bleep Devontae, LOL. But they were like, just kidding, but got to say it. If Devontae catches the ball, they're playing for the 1 seed, and Saquon's going for the record.
And the thing is, they would have still needed a ton to happen.
Well, everything
for the 1 seed.
Everything would have
They'd be
gone their
three-way
way,
tied,
right?
and they'd be in a three-way tie.
Right, but
for the best record.
they would be playing.
Yeah,
this
but
Sunday.
they'd have the third best odds to get it.
But they'd be playing. They wouldn't rest anybody.
I understand, but they'd be the third likeliest team to get it.
Look, it played out the way I wanted it to. I wanted to find out as soon as possible. Like, this is exactly what I wanted. Obviously, I would prefer the 1 seed, but
Sure.
I would prefer the 1 seed if I had known, like, that we had the leg up. To your point, many things had to go their way. Because they locked into the 2 seed last week, I was thrilled by that. I was rooting for Minnesota to win last Sunday.
Of course.
Because I didn't want the Eagles to have to play in Week 18 because they weren't going to get the first round bye. I didn't believe that was going to happen. I'm a happy man. I'm actually in a great mood.
I'm very excited for.
I feel bad for Saquon, but other than that,
I feel
I'm in a
terrible.
great mood.
Hearing Saquon's voice, honestly, it broke my heart this morning because I read the quotes.
But you didn't
I
hear
did not. Brett from the Eagles sending over the quotes. I read the quotes. I didn't hear them. It broke my heart.
Well, I'm going to make you cry. You'll hear them again next. Hear from Saquon Barkley coming up next. Also, Johnny, you took time off, but you can't escape it. I saw you tweeting about them.
Oh, is it?
We have not checked the NFL.com power rankings.
Oh, jeez. I thought I was going to miss it.
So we are going to do that coming up next because the Eagles have dropped. It is Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a Birds Insider Update.
Wise chips to give away, man, and also pairs of tickets to the Philly Auto Show. So here's what we're going to do. I told you we'd be busy. We have 7 more variety box of Wise snacks to give away, and each variety box that goes away also comes with a pair of tickets to the Philly Auto Show. So we've done one so far.
Awesome.
Oh,
that's
dude,
great.
I can't wait to take Cooper. It's going to be amazing. We have 7 more to give away. So let's do 2 on the contest line. Let's do callers 1 and 2, 215-263-0975. It's a Wise Snacks Thursday. Call now to win a pair of tickets for the 2025 Philly Auto Show. It starts January 11th through the 20th. It's at the PA Convention Center. And all winners today also get a variety box of Wise Snacks. Munch the good vibe on game day with Wise Snacks. Again, 215-263-0975. Callers 1 and 2 to the contest line. Have you been to the auto show before in the convention center?
I have been to the auto show. I've been to the in the one in Atlanta. They used to have a test track for cars.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That was fun. I like that, being able to test drive, which is good.
I can't wait to take Cooper. He's going to go nuts. He's a big
he's gonna
monster
love it.
truck guy.
Well, he's going to love it.
Man, he's going to go nuts.
Have you taken him to a monster truck show?
No, it's going to be way too loud.
Oh, too loud.
Dude,
right,
he doesn't like the stadium announcements.
All right.
You think he's going to be okay with it?
Okay.
Can you take me? I'd like it.
Yes. Come here, kiddo. I'll bring you. Thanks, Dad. I'll buy you a hot dog. All right, give us some football music there, Mr. Thomas, please. It's John Kincaid's favorite time of the week. Usually happens today, but you've missed it for the last. Should I give you last week's power rankings?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Let's do both power
I'll go
rankings.
back and listen to the podcast.
Oh, okay. By the way, congratulations to the Tennessee Titans, the new number 32.
Wow.
Will Levis, really good quarterback. They fall to number 32, so they're the new bottom of the NFL.com power rankings. The Giants, after their big win against the Colts, knocking them out of the playoffs. By the way, Shane Steichen, what happens to him? The Giants.
By the way, I'll tell you, he might come back here next year as the offensive coordinator.
How about that? What if
if the Eagles go to the NFC title game,
gets a job.
If the Eagles go to the NFC title game of the Super Bowl, Kellen Moore might very well get a job. Then Shane can come back.
What
here.
about Frank Reich, man?
Oh my gosh!
Remember all those?
Stop.
So the Giants climb up to 29. Let's see where the Dallas Cowboys are at. They fell only one spot, which is kind of ridiculous when you lose 41-7, only dropping one spot. But they're at number 21, and now we scroll all the way up to the top 10. By the way, the Bucks, the team that you still have nightmares of, they're on the outside looking in. They climbed up 3 spots to 11. The Steelers are at 10, Chargers at 9. The Commanders stay at 8. Packers fall to 7. Ravens climb up to 6. Your top 5. How about at number 5, your Philadelphia Eagles?
Wow.
They've dropped back-to-back weeks now. I don't know how they drop after.
How are they dropping?
So they lost to the Commanders, so that took them out of the top spot.
Okay.
They put them at 3. And then last week, they had the Vikings surpass them because of the win over the Packers.
Who writes this? Eric at home, right?
Yes.
Meet me in Temecula.
So here's
That's
what he wrote. If I had to guess, Nick Sirianni will rest Saquon Barkley. Will that happen? He says that's the right decision. The quarterbacks most certainly need their rest, with Jalen Hertz ruled out last week and Kenny Pickett exiting Sunday's win with a rib injury. If Philly's defense needs to carry the load in the playoffs, it has shown itself capable more often than not. Week 17 was a good reminder that with the Eagles forcing 4 turnovers, including a pick 6, this is a complete team, assuming the quarterback's health is on the upswing by the postseason, which it is. So they come in.
That's good.
They come in at 5. Vikings 4, Lions 3, Bills 2, Chiefs remain at 1. There you go. It was a quick one.
That's good. That was a quick one.
Quick one today.
Good.
But 5. How do you feel?
They're not the 5th best team. They're better than that.
They're better than that.
They're better than that.
I'll still give the Lions
say,
the
You
edge,
can't say
but-
Chiefs. Can't say Lions.
No, I could say the Lions ahead of the Eagles. Oh,
that's what I'm
sorry.
saying.
Yeah.
Can't say Chiefs. Can't say Lions. You're better than. You can't. I don't think you can say you're better than Minnesota.
I think so.
They play in a tougher division. They haven't had as tough a schedule overall. I think that's fairly even. I'd put the Eagles at 3. And if they were 4, I would have no issue.
Oh, you have Buffalo behind the Eagles?
Buffalo's behind the Eagles.
Yeah, so the Eagles are 4.
Okay.
Buffalo's
behind the Eagles.
Yes, behind the Eagles.
I'd put Buffalo ahead of the Lions.
They got the MVP, man.
I do not. No.
I don't know.
do
See,
not.
this is why power rankings is
There
great.
it is.
They're very debatable.
Damn right.
Or stupid.
All right, I want to make John cry. Let's hear from Saquon Barkley. Let's play the second clip you had there, Connor, because this is the one that really brought the tear to John Kincaid's eye. And I do feel bad for him. Like, all jokes aside, I believe the decision was the correct one, but I do understand the human element. I am indeed a human. Here's Saquon Barkley being told about the decision, his response.
I mean, he asked me if I wanted to play, if I want to go for it. I said on Sunday, I probably didn't care too much for it. When I slept on it, it was like it was an opportunity to implant my name in football history. I may never get another opportunity like that again. So I'm down, but at the end of the day, like, I don't care for putting the team at risk. He's the head coach for a reason. He makes those decisions, and whatever decision he wanted to make, I let him know if you want me to play, I'm going to go out there and make sure I get it. And if we don't, I'm okay with that too.
I mean, he clearly wanted to play. You're right. I'm not disagreeing with you, John. He wanted to play.
No, he absolutely wanted to play.
But Nick Sirianni had to make the tough decision.
And he talked to him and said, "Boom, I'm ignoring you." That's what he's doing. He's ignoring it. And to me, that's a problem.
Oh,
that's as far as for Saquon. Because I understand it. You asked me to get off the fence. I think they should play. You asked me to get off the fence. I think they should play. I heard. It's so weird how you read someone's words and then you hear someone's words. Saquon Barkley's disappointed.
Yeah, but do you think this is going to lead to something?
No, I don't think
exactly.
This is.
So
no, but I know right now why we all think the Eagles have a chance to win a Super Bowl. It's Saquon Barkley.
Yes.
Reason 1A and reason 1B.
Yeah, so let's keep him as healthy as possible.
But he wants to play, and you can't say he's just played 16 games healthy.
For the first time in a while.
He's played 16 games healthy.
That doesn't guarantee anything
I
about
know
the
it
17th
doesn't,
game.
but I don't, again, risk management is just doesn't mean don't take risks in life. Absolutely there's risk.
But John,
absolutely.
John, you can't be anti-MVP. You can't be anti-individual accolades, and then say you're going to risk the chance at a Super Bowl.
This is not Saquon winning the MVP and playing. This is football immortality. This is 4 decades-long record.
Okay, but so is the Super Bowl. Football immortality.
It is, but this doesn't playing on Sunday. But here, using the logic, you'd have to say if they play Sunday, you're saying to me, you think their chances to win a Super Bowl are significantly less?
No,
I'm running the risk that it could be less.
1% less, but I'm not dropping that for anything.
No, I understand, and again, I understand your point of view. I don't agree with it. I wish he was playing.
Wow.
I wish he was playing until he got the record.
I'm shocked.
And then
you're
done.
Mr. Conservative. I'm shocked.
Being done.
I am shocked. But that's the beauty of sports talk radio, people. We'd love to hear from you as well for the final hour today, 610-632-0975. By the way, this conversation will continue through the Mike Missanelli show. I know it.
I'm sure.
The decision was made yesterday. Saquon Barkley will not be playing on Sunday. How are you feeling about that decision, and have you changed your opinion since the team made the decision? Or since you've heard Saquon talk? Because John is now fully on that side that he should play.
Yeah, I'm on it.
610-632-0975. We'll continue that discussion next. Also, I saw something interesting this morning. Fox did a look back on the 10 biggest storylines of the 2024 NFL season. We'll go through them and see how many include the Eagles. It is Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
No Saquon on Sunday. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship coming January 25th, the biggest fighting event ever to hit Philadelphia. Knuckle Mania 5 from Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships, Saturday, January 25th at Wells Fargo Center. The Eagles are not going to play Saquon on Sunday. There it is, the decision made. And while some people are upset because it does take away Saquon's chances to break Eric Dickerson's all-time rushing record, it is a decision that seems to prioritize health for the postseason for the Birds. Here was Nick Sirianni's explanation yesterday about his choice.
We're locked into that number 2 seed, so we're going to rest some guys. There are going to be some guys that are resting. There are going to be some guys that are in reserve roles. You can't obviously rest everybody with the roster, and so that's our plan.
So what are the Eagles resting for? Well, they're locked into the 2 seed, and it's a waiting game to see who they're going to play in the first round of the NFC postseason. Right now, it looks like it would be the Green Bay Packers. That could change. It could be Washington. We'll keep you updated on how seeding changes as Week 18 gets underway. But right now, yes, Green Bay coming to the link. The Sixers fell to the Kings last night, 113-107. The loss ends a 4-game win streak for the Sixers. Paul George, he did have a 30-piece in the loss. They'll take on the Warriors tonight at 10 p.m. That game here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers take on the Vegas Golden Knights tonight as well. 10 p.m. You can hear that game on WMMR. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Can you feel it?
The Eagles are back to being Super Bowl. on this Thursday morning here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, coming up in a few minutes, there's an article from Fox Sports this morning. I would love to go through with it because we're all football guys. Well, I'm like the most of
I don't think so, but it's all right.
But we'll go through what they believe were the top 10 biggest storylines in the NFL in the calendar year of 2024. So this also means, obviously, end of last season.
Sure.
Into this year. So the calendar year of 2024. We'll go through those coming up in a little bit. But obviously, if you're just tuning in, you know what we're talking about today. Saquan Barkley officially not playing on Sunday. Nick Seriani announced the decision yesterday. We've played Nick Seriani. Let's hear from Coach Seriani again. Then we'll also play you Lane Johnson and Saquon Barkley because this must have been a tough decision to make. Nobody was saying that it was going to be an easy conversation.
No.
I believe for me, it was an easy decision. You made the whole gun to the head reference. I wouldn't even have a drop of sweat above my brow.
If you had to tell Saquon Barkley you're not going for it?
Yeah, I'd say, sorry, man. You know, I got to keep you ready. I saw last year what we did last year. We tried to reach for a seed that wasn't going to happen, and A.J. Brown got hurt. I'm just going to try to avoid any risk possible. Not saying that it would be a lock that you would get hurt, but I'm avoiding that risk.
Okay.
Here was Nick.
I think that would have been a more difficult conversation than you're letting on.
Yeah, well.
To sit across the room and tell somebody, no, we're not. You've been our guy. You're the MVP of our team.
Yeah.
You're the guy who has been
and that's
everything
why I need you.
for.
That's why I need you the best that you could possibly be come playoff time.
But Coach, I want to go.
Sorry,
buddy.
I'm the head coach. My decision matters.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's good.
What, are you going to not try hard in the playoffs now, Saquon?
Yeah. No, it's just the idea is that's interesting.
Let me tell you more about my core values.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd love that.
Here's Coach Seriani yesterday on his decision.
We're going to rest some guys. I know we're locked into that number 2 seeds. We're going to rest some guys. There's going to be some guys that are resting. There are going to be some guys that are in reserve roles. You can't obviously rest everybody with the roster. And so that's our plan moving in here forward.
And then, of course, he was asked specifically about Saquon Barkley, and this is what he had to say.
Obviously, it's a very special record that's been, standing for a very long time by a great player. It's a team record that everybody's involved in. So you weigh in all those things, but at the end of the day, you just try to do what's best for the team.
And I do wonder, again, I've said this a couple times to you today, I can't wait for the Tim McManus article that comes out.
Because it's going to come out.
About who was in favor and who was not.
Yep.
Was it a 50-50 split and then Nick made the decision? We're more in favor than not. And then did Nick say ultimately, no, my decision is the final word?
I think when the story is told, more were in favor than not.
Interesting. And then Nick just made the hard decision.
Yes, and Mick, and again,
which, by the way, kudos to Nick for doing that.
I respect him. I respect him for doing it. Is Real Mama Eagles was talking about how people are being hypocritical. That there's the whole conversation about you got to trust Nick. You got to trust Nick. I said the hypocritical thing is the number one thing we hear about with Nick Seriani is people don't trust his decision making.
Yeah, but again, nobody's questioned him since Jacksonville.
But now everybody is like, he's infallible. If he says this is the right thing to do. You can't have it both. You cannot have it both ways.
But hold on a second, John. If somebody had that opinion before the decision was made, that's different.
No, but I mean,
if somebody woke up this morning and said, you know what, Nick's right, I'm going to change my opinion. But I've been saying, man, actually for months, I hope they didn't have to play Week 18.
No, but I got you. But what's the number one thing you question about Nick Sirianni?
Yeah, some of his decision making. But
right,
this was my opinion before he made the decision.
No, I got you.
It took him 3 days to make the decision.
It's the whole thing with this that has bothered me is the people who are like, there's only one right answer. And if you don't believe this right answer, you're wrong.
Well, there is just
no, it's
one
not.
Right answer.
There isn't.
And we have the right answer. Now, I will ask
Saquon's, by the way, if Saquon's dry, he's listening to you guys and he's going, he's doing the
Saquon,
shake my
you had
head.
an amazing season. I love you, and I can't wait to see you hoist the Lombardi Trophy. It's going to be amazing.
Because that's going to be a difference. Because if he played Sunday, they're not winning the Lombardi.
He could be wrong.
Yeah,
they're not winning a Lombardi Trophy if he plays Sunday.
They're not winning if he gets hurt on Sunday.
No, that's a whole thing. He hasn't gotten hurt all year. So I'm not
right. So he's invincible.
There's a chance that he could get hurt on Sunday.
There's a chance. He's a chance all year long he could get hurt.
Yeah, and
so let's take that chance away.
I'd rather not run the risk.
I got you.
Now I will put you to this, John, because You are in favor of him playing because you want him to go after the record. But you were with me a couple weeks ago wanting to find out sooner rather than later about the 1 seed so that if they don't get the bye, we could rest players.
Correct.
And you agree,
Absolutely.
you and I were on the same page then.
No questions asked. Find out one way or another.
And so you found out.
Yeah, but we did not find out what we have now found out, is that there's a chance. I did not think he was going to be in this position.
Okay.
I really didn't.
I got exactly what I wanted.
See, I didn't think he was going to be in the position to. I thought there was going to be too many yards. What was the game where it didn't go well? Recently. There was a game that he didn't get.
Well, he played.
It was the Ravens game. The Ravens game, wasn't it?
No, the Ravens only threw the ball 19 times.
No, but the Ravens game, I thought he only had like 70 yards.
No, I do know
yards.
what you're talking about.
What
There
was the game? There was a game that he only got like.
Well, that was the game. Wasn't it the Commanders game when he missed? No, Steelers, 65 yards.
It was the Steelers game.
And that was the game
And
where
I
he
thought-
missed a lot of the time in the game.
And I thought after that game, I really believed the Dickerson record was off the
Yeah, and then he runs for 150 against the Commanders. By the way, 150, over 100 of that was in the first quarter. Imagine if Jalen doesn't get hurt that game.
If Jalen doesn't get hurt-
he's rushing for 250 in that game.
If Jalen doesn't get hurt, he gets at least another 40-50 that game.
Yeah. He's finishing
And
with almost 200 yards rushing.
If he had played the end of that Giants game
Earlier in the year.
it would have been all over.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. All right, here's Lane Johnson, because, again, we've been talking about this a lot. Who was in favor of Saquon playing and who was not? Jordan Mailata has been – we don't have any audio for it, but Jordan Mailata has been very, very adamant about wanting to go for the record. Lane Johnson, on the other hand, this was from Good Morning Football yesterday before the decision was made, but you can hear, just based off the way Lane Johnson is talking, that he was definitely in favor of not playing on Sunday.
We just got a couple of days off, which we really hadn't got for most of the year. So that was big after this past win. So what's the risk versus reward? Would we like to have a full strength team, or would you want to risk having somebody injured for the playoffs, which happened last year, by the way, in the loss of Tampa. So know what we're playing for and remember from past experiences.
And that, of course, is the A.J. Brown moment from last year.
By the way, A.J. completely in the rest everybody.
Because he got hurt last year.
Correct. He's in the rest camp. So, I mean, there's a lot of really great players that are letting their opinion be known, and they just have different opinions.
It could have been awkward conversations.
Saquon Barkley, Jordan Mailata one way, A.J. Brown, Lane Johnson another. I respect them all. I mean, I just don't agree.
And I bet you Jalen Hurts would say keep the main thing the main thing. I bet you Jalen's pro rest. He loves playing, but he's a keep the main thing guy.
Interesting.
That's my guess.
Could be. Could very well be.
The main thing,
I will
man.
tell you that, by the way, just for a little note, and I told you this earlier, a good conversation yesterday with someone who knows about the network TV programming. He believes that Eagles-Packers, if it's Eagles-Packers, that would be the most desirable matchup of Wild Card Weekend in the NFC.
Okay.
So he believes that game would get parked Saturday primetime or Sunday 4:30.
The 4:30 one, okay.
One of the two. It will not be, he does not believe there is any chance that the 4-5 game, which is Monday night, will end up including the Lions or the Vikings. Because the NFL will not want to have the Lions or the Vikings playing on a short week in their playoff game. So his thought was that will be the Houston Texans hosting, I guess, the Steelers or whoever.
Steelers are, yeah.
The Saturday game?
That'll be the Monday night game.
Oh, okay.
Because the Monday night game is going to be a 4-5.
Gotcha.
It's always been a 4-5.
I thought Houston had a standing appointment for the Saturday day playoff.
I know,
game.
but it does. It does
feel like
here's
that's
the problem,
where they would be.
If they did that, then they'd have the Lions or the Vikings having to play on Monday Night Football on the road, and then play their next game on a short week. And the Lions or the Vikings with the two best records in football.
Do it, cowards.
I don't think they shouldn't do it to them.
Should have won your division.
It's a disgrace if they do that. By the way, I've heard that argument. Yeah, should have won the division. They'd have won every other division.
I know. It's amazing.
And by the way, the fact that they all play each other makes it even more impressive.
Impressive season for those guys.
Crazy.
All right, callers 1 and 2 to the contest line, 215-263-0975. We have 5 more of these to give away, so let's give away 2 more. 215-263-0975. It's a Wise Snacks Thursday. Call now to win a pair of tickets for the 2025 Philly Auto Show, which begins January 11th through the 20th at the PA Convention Center. And, of course, winners will also get a variety box of Y Snacks, which is amazing. Munch the good
great.
vibe on game day with Y Snacks. When you're not really paying attention to the game on Sunday because the starters aren't playing, enjoy some Y Snacks.
By the way, my buddy Tony Dungy has checked in
what's up, Coach?
on Twitter. He's checked into I said, my tweet was resting your Eagles starters in the final game. Doesn't mean they have to win the Super Bowl to make it a good decision. That'd be unfair. It sure as hell does mean we better see the benefits to the rest in their first playoff game. That's fair game. Tony Dungy chimed in 2 minutes ago. Thanks, Coach. For all the fans who were upset at Coach Seriani for not playing Saquon in this game and letting him go after the rushing record, please understand this game means as much to the Eagles as the final preseason game. Who is upset when the starters don't play in that preseason game? Let's say he's more. Who would be upset if Barkley got injured on his 20th carry in his last preseason game and missed the opener? Who would be upset if any key starter got a season-ending injury in the last preseason game? That's what's going through the coach's head and the GM's.
It's interesting because I made
the
that
owners.
point.
He goes, it's not an easy call when a player has a chance to do something significant, but it's an obvious call given on what's the line.
I made that point on Monday, and I believe Connor Thomas laughed at me for it.
Well, Coach Dungy has responded publicly on Twitter.
I believe I got crushed for that take by people on this own show. Interesting. Just two Hall of Fame football guys, me and Coach Dungy.
Oh, yeah, two.
Yeah,
Sure. I think your math's
incredible.
off there, Salciunas.
All right, real quick before we get to these top 10 storylines, the Eagles have 6 Pro Bowlers, Johnny. Not that the game matters at all anymore, but it is still a nice recognition for the members that were voted. Saquon, obviously, Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, and Cam Jurgens. How about that? Jason Kelsey's replacement is a first-year Pro Bowler. 2 members of the defense. Good for Zach Bond. An incredible
Zach Bond
story
deserves
for him.
every bit of it.
And Jalen Carter, Barkley, Carter,
That's
Dickerson,
awesome.
and Johnson were starters. Zach Bond, Cam Jurgens are voted as backups. A lot of alternates to go through. We're not going to. But Barkley is a starter. Carter is a starter. Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, and then the backups are Zach Bond and Cam Jurgens. That's amazing. Good for them.
That is great.
Yeah, let's just say it. Jordan Mailata not being a Pro Bowl starter is egregious.
He missed 4 games, so it's fan votes. So there's a lot of dumb fan votes.
By the way, our buddy E-Rock had checked in, too. I saw E-Rock on Sunday at the Philly Sports
tailgate, yeah.
which was awesome. Philly Sports Trips, they did a great job as always. And he said it's a weird dynamic. The Eagles fans screaming the starters should play at least a half during the preseason and the beginning of the season, not concerned about injury. Now it's don't play the starters for a half at the end of the season. So E-Rock with a little different thought there.
Okay.
So people who are saying, wow, risk them in the preseason where those people.
This is for the playoffs, baby. This is a little bit different.
It's interesting.
A little bit different than
We
week
love you,
one.
E-Rock. We'll
a little
see
bit
you soon.
different than week 1, in my opinion.
And happy birthday to E-Rock's mom today.
That's right.
It's his mom's birthday.
Saw that on social media.
There you go.
All right, here are your top 10 storylines in 2024 in the NFL per Fox Sports. Ralph Vacchiano did this. So at number 10, you always have to have a Cowboys story in.
Of course.
But he puts Cowboys redefined all in, and then in parentheses, by not going in at all, which is totally true. Bill Colarulo, we joke about the fence all the time. I got to give Bill a lot of credit. He said that they were going to suck from the beginning, and they have. They've been bad. Now, Dak Prescott getting hurt changes a lot of things for them, but they were bad before he got hurt. That team was horrible. Zeke Elliott was one of their big additions this offseason, who, by the way, just got released. So that's number 10. Number 9, I actually think this one should be higher. Sam Darnold's season.
Sam Darnold's season is absolutely awesome.
He was completely written off. And by the way, he wasn't going to start, right?
No, it was because J.J. McCarthy got
hurt. So Darnold then starts.
Sam Darnold was not going to be the starter.
And now they have one of the best records in football. At number 8, it's the rise of rookie quarterbacks. And then they put, especially in Washington, which is Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is worlds better than all the other rookie quarterbacks.
He is. He said that 4th place schedule doesn't hurt.
Like, I can't say the rise of rookie quarterbacks and include Caleb Williams, 2 games of Michael Penix, and Bo Nix.
I don't know if I could go worlds better than Bo Nix. He's better. Bo Nix is pretty damn good.
He's had a good season. You're right.
And
But
he's
still.
got less to work with.
I wish the story was just Jaden Daniels and the Commanders' resurgence.
I got you. That's Bo Nix erasure.
Number 7 was the Jets' Aaron Rodgers experiment implodes.
That was absolutely just, I would like it lower on the list because I'm so tired of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but you like the recognition when it comes to this one.
I do like him
imploding.
I like him
Jets.
imploding because he's a character.
Number 6 was Lamar Jackson wins second MVP. Again, this is 2024, and is making a case for a third. So that's Lamar. That's number 6. Number 5, Jim Harbaugh has a successful return to the NFL. Definitely a big story. We have not really talked about that much just because they haven't played him. And
and we don't pay attention to the AFC out there that much.
Bill Belichick, number 4, being snubbed by the NFL and then going to UNC. And by the way, there's still there's wording in the contract that he could leave.
$10 million. It's a $10 million buyout.
Yeah.
So of course he was going to leave that, but
he's still going to keep his eye out for the NFL.
Sure, absolutely. Is.
Not coming here, of course. Number 3, we finally have a mention with the Eagles, a running back revival. And it's Saquon Barkley gets Philly its money's worth. Now, obviously, they mentioned Derrick Henry as well.
As they should.
Josh Jacobs as well.
Jacobs.
But Saquon the headliner.
So 3 guys, I think that's one of the biggest stories. 3 guys who could have been on any team in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
They were all free to be hired. Are 3 of the biggest impact players in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. Playoff teams.
Wild.
All 3 are playoff teams. Number 2 is just the Lions season because they were, the Lions were a laughingstock just a couple of years ago, and now they're the best team in football.
I think everybody was picking them for the Super Bowl of the NFC, though, this year. Them or San Fran.
Here, it's the Motown miracle. Dan Campbell turns Lions into a title contender. That's basically what the storyline is.
They were in the NFC title game last year. I don't like that one.
Okay.
I don't like that one. They were NFC title game last year, and they were blowing out the 49ers.
This is the 2024 storyline.
Oh, okay. Okay, that could be fair.
So not only were they in the NFC Championship game last year, they're now also 14-2 this year.
I got you.
We're going calendar year now?
Yeah,
it's been calendar year since I started going through the top 10 list. Thanks for listening.
No, I'm just saying,
lastly,
it should be this season.
The Chiefs dynasty still dominates the NFL. And that's a look. Our man B Gunn.
Yeah, say that again for Brendan Gunn.
Our man B Gunn keeps on saying they're not going to win. They're not going to win. And yet every week they're 15-1.
He keeps saying it.
As bad as that team has looked in people's eyes, they're 15-1.
And he has the bet with me that they will lose their first playoff.
Right, that's right.
So,
by the way, the Chiefs have looked much better as of late as well, too.
By one thing, and this is not meant to rip Jaden Daniels at all. It's just a pump your brakes moment. Because remember last year, C.J. Stroud was.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Love was. A few years ago, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, next year will be the year to find out.
We'll see what happens when you have to play a better schedule.
And tape.
And then everybody gets tape on you.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Pump the brakes a little bit.
Do we learn nothing from history?
No.
I'm convinced as an American we don't. I'm convinced. So, no, I'm convinced.
All right, here we go. Coming up next. Our man Brendan Gunn is working behind the scenes. Speaking of B Gunn,
that's good.
He's getting some of the national media perspective
on
the decision of Saquon Barkley. So we'll play you a couple of clips on what the national media is saying on the outside of Philadelphia, and then of course we hear from you as well. The decision was final. Saquon Barkley will not be playing on Sunday. Your reaction to that, 610-632-0975. It is Kincade and Salciunas on this Thursday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Pro Bowlers announced. I'm Connor Thomas, and this update is brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The NFL Pro Bowlers have been announced. Now, the hope is if the Eagles are going to play in the Super Bowl, none of these guys will be playing in the Pro Bowl, but the Eagles have 6 guys named to the Pro Bowl. The names, of course, you've got Lane Johnson, you've got Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, a Pro Bowler, Zach Baum, Jalen Carter, and number 26, Saquon Barkley. No doubts there that he was going to be a Pro Bowler. A couple of alternates as well for the Eagles. So, as figured for one of the best teams in football, a lot of representation in the voting there. Speaking of the last guy listed, Saquon Barkley, he won't be able to add to his Pro Bowl case in Week 18. The Eagles have made the decision to rest some starters, including Barkley. Here was Nick Seriani talking about his decision.
We're locked into that number 2 seed, so we're going to rest some guys. There's going to be some guys that are resting. There are going to be some guys that are in reserve roles. You can't obviously rest everybody with the roster, and so that's our plan.
That means Saquon Barkley will unfortunately fall short of Eric Dickerson's all-time rushing record. The 2,000-yard mark is still a nice consolation prize. The Sixers fell to the Kings last night, 113-107 the final. Paul George did have 30 in the loss. They'll play the Warriors Warriors tonight at 10 p.m. You can hear that game live here on The Fanatic. Flyers take on the Golden Knights tonight at 10. That game on WMMR. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the 76ers and Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia 76ers guard Tyrese Maxey.
He throws it to the back.
It is 9:30 on this Thursday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic. It is Kincade and Salciunas. Johnny is back from enjoying some time off during the holidays. I enjoyed some of the time off as well. The 4 a.m. alarm after taking some days off is a
little rough.
It's a
but
depressing
it's all right.
moment.
Yeah, it's all right.
One of the worst moments on Sundays, right? You have all the fun with the Eagles and watching the game. I always do I put the coffee pot together the night before so that it's brewing as I'm waking up. I set it to 3:30 so that it's done by 4, which is when I get out of bed. Turning the clock from 6:30 to 3:30.
Oh, that hurt you?
That's painful, man. Because I only get to do it twice, Saturday, Sunday, and then all of a sudden Sunday night I got to turn it back to 3:30 in the morning. Not a fun time.
Haley brought up a thing in the break that I think is a really good talking point.
Sure.
We said this summer one of the biggest talking points we heard was how much the Eagles were going to miss Jason Kelce. And this is not meant to discredit Jason Kelce and his greatness.
Right.
They didn't miss a beat.
No.
They have the Pro Bowl center. They didn't miss a beat.
No, they didn't.
This adds to Jason Kelce's legacy.
Because
he was the guy who picked him out
Yep.
and mentored him.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, from what I know of Jason, he's one of the happiest people for Cam Jordan.
Oh, yeah. But people were terrified that the offensive line was going to be bad. My biggest wonder, I won't even say concern, my biggest wonder was because remember, Jalen was then taking over the blitz picking.
That was big on you.
I was like, I wonder how he handles this entire new role now.
Do you think he's handled it?
Yeah, he's been. Look,
no, but do you think he's handled it? I don't think the passing game's been very good. I think the passing game's been, to me, suboptimal.
Yeah, it could definitely be better with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, but
there's been injury that has added to that.
Yeah.
But to me, I think one of my things is I was so on board with Kellen Moore and studied Kellen Moore all summer. And was
right.
I got to tell you, I've been disappointed. I'm not kidding you. I thought this offense would be much more.
Yeah, but you know how I felt about Jalen and the style of quarterback. I want game manager. You know that. So I've gotten. It's been a nice season for me. I've been very happy.
No. I mean,
does it mean it's going to win? I don't know that.
No, it's been an incredible. It still's been an incredible season. But I got to tell you, I've been a little I've been disappointed. I thought Kellen Moore was going to make a huge splash. I thought there was no chance we would be able to keep Kellen Moore after 1 year. There is a good chance.
Yeah, but it could be by choice. Like, I think that if I had to guess, Kellen Moore has more in his bag than what he's been forced to use this year because you have a guy that rushed for 2,000 yards. Like, he hasn't been put into many situations where it's like, yo, figure something out for us to run to get this offense going. It hasn't been the way we expected.
That's fair, Connor.
And he's had some interesting run concepts that we've seen all season long. It's not just, here, hand the ball off to Saquon. It's how the and that worked. That's also credit to Jeff Stoutland.
Yes,
the way
absolutely.
He works. Look, he's rocking a headset on game day as well. It's great. All right, what is the national media saying? We got a couple of clips for you. Your buddy Mark Schlereth has chimed in on this. So Mark Schlereth, here's his reaction to Nick Sirianni announcing that the starters will not be playing, including Saquon Barkley on Sunday.
If they were the number 1 seed, he would play this weekend. If they were the number 1 seed, and they had and they're guaranteed to have a bye. Yeah. If they were the number 1 seed, he would play and he would go get that record. So is he disappointed? Yeah, I understand the decision not to play him. I understand you're locked into the 2 seed and you want other guys to be healthy. I don't think this is so much about Saquon. It is about, hey, where's Lane Johnson at? Where's Landon Dickerson, our outstanding All-Pro left guard, has been injured the last couple of weeks. Where are we with the rest of the team's help more than Saquon?
That was a big part of my point on Monday, that if you played Saquon, you had to play everyone. Like, you weren't going to have.
No, you do. You have to play everyone. It
wasn't going to be, with all due respect to Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen and Trevor Keegan, who hasn't dressed.
You got to play everyone to the point that you get the record.
Right.
And then you pull the plug.
And you're not just running risk of Saquon. We talk about Saquon so much because he's the name, but you're also risking Lane, Becton, Juergens, Dickerson, Mailata.
And we also do not know how dinged up Becton really is.
Yeah,
we don't know
rough watching him walk off the field.
And I loved him crying with the tears of joy.
That was cool.
And there has been no discussion, though, that this is something to watch. So I don't believe it's anything that's major. but a week off could probably do him some real good.
Yeah, and Landon Dickerson, who we've seen Landon Dickerson leave games a lot this year.
I mean, he's
a lot.
All the time.
So
all the time.
It's a good thing that he's probably getting this week off. We also have Kyle Brandt. He was the one we've played his interview with Lane Johnson a couple times today. Here he is giving his opinion on the decision that was made by Nick Sirianni.
I'm melancholy about this.
I am too.
I'm kind of sad, and I'm something that you're never supposed to be in sports media, which is I'm conflicted. I talked a lot earlier in the week, and I encouraged Nick Sirianni from our modest platform here to sit him down, do the responsible thing, think about the team, and he did. I got me thinking now, though, so over the decades, there's been over 3,000 players who have a Super Bowl ring over the years. There's never, ever been any player who run for more than 2,105 yards, ever. There's 25 running backs in the Hall of Fame. None of them have ever run for over 2,105 yards. He would be one of one.
Well, the only thing is that there's been 3,000 people that have worn a Super Bowl ring. It's still...
No, I get, but there's
even
people,
if you're 3,000,
no,
if you
no,
become
no.
3,001.
Hey, if this year ends in a parade on Broad Street, and as Connor pointed out, that is the last item on my bucket list that I want to do.
Yep, do a show.
Broadcast, do the show, and
You want to get drunk afterward?
Yes.
Yeah.
It will be the Saquon. This will forever be known as the Saquon season.
Oh, my God, yeah. Without 2,100 yards.
I think too much of the 2017 season is referred to like as Nick Foles first.
Oh, it's the next man up season.
Correct. Where I think Nick Foles gets way too much credit for that Super Bowl. He played 2 good games. Great games. But to me, this will be known as the Saquon season.
Yeah.
If they win a Super Bowl. He will be the first person talked about. He will be the second person talked about. Because he was the biggest difference maker.
By the way, my man Lenny checked in when we were talking about
What's up, Lenny?
The biggest Saquon moments.
Yeah.
He went with the run against the Saints because he says that may have turned the season around.
Oh, yeah, fourth quarter with like 9 minutes.
Do you imagine
left.
if they lost that game?
Why said you that was third quarter run?
Fourth with like 9:30 left. The Eagles hadn't scored in that game.
Well,
until the fourth quarter.
the one thing that I point to is I really believe Jalen to Dallas Goedert.
Oh my God, yeah.
Under 2 minutes to play,
which he checked into, by the way.
In
Great
the
play
New
by
Orleans-
Jalen.
Great play by Jalen. Great catch by Goddard. And then he made some people miss. I still think that's the play that swung the season. Because if you lose that Saints game, then you go to Tampa next week and you're beaten up, and you're 1-3.
Yeah.
The vibes are different. The whole thing's different.
The vibes were bad when they were 2-2.
By the way,
remember the whole that? I mean, that was the Browns game when he goes nuts.
Here's one thing too.
Nick Sirianni.
Do we even miss Dallas Goedert?
Yes, because of his blocking ability,
Yes.
and I know that
But
Saquon still rushed so well
right.
the last 2 weeks.
Like we really don't. I think it's the pass protection with Calcaterra.
Yeah, look,
but Calcaterra,
that catch
I got to tell you, he's come up with a few ridiculous passes. I want him part of the long-term answer here.
I don't think he's tight end one though.
No.
But there's probably a better option.
I would
than Goddard.
Well, first off, you have Goddard for one more year.
Yeah.
You let Goddard play next year. You keep Calcaterra, and you draft Goddard's replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is if somebody sees Calcaterra and they're like, hey, we're going to give him money to go be the tight end of the Panthers. Like, you're going to keep him as a backup.
Yeah,
because
you're
there's
never
not
going to be
one
able to
here.
afford.
Right, you're not going to pay
You're
a
not going to
backup tight
pay,
end.
and that's why you drafted.
And he might get paid
rookie
big.
tight
He
end.
should get paid big time.
I don't think big time, but he'll get
No, I think he should get a real
decent contract.
Wow. I think you should get a real good contract.
All right, let's go to the phones because we haven't talked to this man in
Sure.
a long time.
Who's that?
Our man Jay from West Philly. Jay, what's
up, Jay?
dude?
Yeah.
I hope you've been good, man. With all seriousness, it's been a while.
I've been good. You acting crazy though. You and your buddy
We're right
Connor
back
there.
at. Well, not even a Merry Christmas, not even a Happy New Year. It's you're crazy.
Yeah. That all exhausted yesterday after the first. At 6:01, that was over with.
There you go.
Hey, what's
Now
up?
look here. You said you don't want Saquon to play, right?
Correct.
And why is that?
Because I want to have him as prepared, rested as possible without running the risk of him getting hurt in a meaningless game that is practically a preseason game. And I got crushed
Well,
for saying
Coach
that.
Dungy
And
said it.
Coach Dungy agrees with me.
So look, 2106, that's a major number, right? If you hit that, nobody else will hit that, right?
Nope. Nobody's hit it.
Okay. Now, what if this was this kind of this for you too? And what if this was Mr. Pandering first baseman, last game of the season, going for 400? You know he prone to get hurt.
He's really prone to get hurt.
It's different.
And going for 400 what?
No, don't tell me it's different because y'all always had this excuse when it comes to baseball. Baseball.
And Rob sat people down when they clinched. He gave people a bunch of rest. I bet their tunes would be completely different.
No, because I wouldn't want him to get hit by a up and in fastball.
Oh, but he could.
So you'd say, but he could go for. He's hitting $3.99.
Yeah, sorry, Bryce.
You wouldn't say that.
$3.99 it is.
You wouldn't say that.
$3.99 it is.
You would never say that.
See, here's how I know that John's wrong when it comes to this conversation because Jay and him are on the same page.
Oh, wait a minute, Jay. You don't have to stand for that nonsense.
Yeah, I know that. That's why Connor say that. Connor and Tunis say that. They look. That's why Connor get quiet. He'll never answer my tweets when I talk about.
You're not answering. You're not answering Jay's text. Is that why we haven't heard from him?
He'll never do that. He'll never do that.
I'm telling
you. Come on, Connor. See, Jay, we don't see the text line. Only Connor sees the text line.
I would simply. I talk about that pander and fraud, and he don't read my text.
I would simply send better texts.
Wow.
Two can play at that game, Jay.
We love you, Jay.
Thanks for the call,
you,
Jay.
buddy.
It was good to hear
Connor,
from
that was
him.
a good retort. I'll give you that one, Connor.
All right, coming up next, we have the Kincade Salciunas Key 3, which, by the way, is presented by Von C. Brewing Company.
Glad to have them aboard in 2025.
And we have not heard German John. This is the first German John of 2025.
He's been a little tired, German John. But he took some time off and he's rejuvenated.
Well, I'm glad, man. I've missed German John. Every day I did the read, I felt a little sad inside, John.
There you go.
To be honest with you. So the Key 3 comes your way next. It is Kincade and Salciunas on this Thursday morning, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philly sports tonight. Discussion on the big stories.
9:47 on this Thursday morning. We're about to do our Kincade Salciunas Key 3, but we have 3 more of these to give away. Variety boxes of Wise Snacks plus a pair of tickets for the Philly Auto Show, so technically 6 tickets for the Auto Show. Let's do 2 now, and we'll do 1 after the Key 3. Callers number 1 and 2 to the contest line, 215-263-0975. We'll win a pair of tickets for the 2025 Philly Auto Show, which is January 11th through the 20th at the PA Convention Center. And because it is a Wise Snacks Thursday, all winners also get a variety box of Wise Snacks. Munch the good vibe on game day with Wise Snacks. Callers 1 and 2, 215-263-0975. And we will have 1 more to give away at some point before we get out of here. But, Johnny, it is time now for the Kincade Salciunas Key 3 presented to us by Von C. Brewing.
Now, the Kincade Salciunas Key 3. Today's best.
Where are you falling when it comes to the decision made by Nick Seriani and the team yesterday that Saquan Barkley will not be playing Sunday against the Giants?
All right, and we're not doing the sports radio thing here where we're taking one side against the other, because in reality, I will tell you flat out, if I was Nick Seriani, right now I'd be probably 55-45 that I would do what he did. But I swear to you, I don't have an answer, because there's so many different factors involved in it. And to me, one of them is the idea that I find the people who are on the side of, you've got to shut Saquon down. It's the only thing to do. It's the right thing to do. There's no other option.
Oh, it is the right thing.
I find them so insufferable.
Oh, good.
And I hope it's not you.
We've made it 2 days into the new year. I'm insufferable.
I find it so insufferable that people are like, there's only one right answer to this. There's only one right answer. No, there's not. And we have tons and tons of evidence over the years. NFL Super Bowl champions, where it's not that simple. And I will say it again, though, because I'm not going to do the sports radio thing. Hey, Andrew thinks one thing, John thinks the other. I would lean right now, if I was Nick Seriani, if you put a gun to my head right now and said, you got to make a call, I'd say very begrudgingly, okay, set him. Okay, set him. So there it is. But I am not in the boat of, this is absolutely the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do. You got guys in the room that are saying, why are we shutting this down? We got a chance to make history, including in that offensive line room.
But
there
not
are different
everybody,
things.
John.
No, not everybody. So you go with the will of just one guy over another guy? I don't know.
No, I think it's the one guy that makes the decision, and it's the head coach. And I'm proud of Nick Sirianni for sitting there and going, I am such a player-friendly head coach, which he is, right?
This is player-friendly to the people who agree with him. This isn't player-friendly to the guys who want to go for the record.
No, the point I'm trying to make
26 wants the record.
The point that I'm trying to make is this is a guy that is always player-friendly.
Okay.
And then he decided, you know what? I'm usually player-friendly. I'm usually, go for it. Devontae Smith, we went for the rookie record back in 2021. But I'm realizing today, as the head coach of this football team, despite me wearing Saquon shirts and Lane Johnson hats and Eagles underwear, as the team panderer that I am, I'm going to make what I believe is the smart decision as the CEO head coach to sit Saquon Barkley, who is the focal point of the Eagles offense. This game means nothing. The only thing that it means something for is history and incentives. That's it. Other than that, this game does nothing for you in the seeding. It does nothing for you in the playoffs. You're not knocking somebody out. Honestly, the best thing for this game is for the Giants to win, as we've talked about, because then it would hurt their draft stock. And
Absolutely.
That's pretty much it.
And I think the Eagles hurting their draft stock would be fantastic.
So don't play Saquon. And I'm celebrating that.
Yeah, but you're also going against what players in the room want.
Not every player.
I understand. So then you're picking and choosing who you want to go with?
Well, it was a tough decision. Head coach has got to make the tough decision.
And so the guy who's been your best player all year, the best guy in the locker room.
Yeah, my most important player that I need healthy for the playoffs.
You're going to ignore what he wants, and you're going to go with something else that somebody else wants. See, I'm telling you, I think it's a slippery slope because of just as far as it's not as easy as people make it out to be.
All right.
And again, as I said to you, 55-45 right now, I would lean towards doing what Nick Sirianni did. If you support the chasing of the record, you say play him. If you don't support it, you say
no,
sit
I'm saying
him.
I wouldn't, if he got it, I'd still celebrate it.
Yeah, but your actions are saying don't go for it.
Yeah, I didn't want them to ultimately go for it.
So then you are not about pursuing the record. You got to be on one side.
Yeah, I'm not about pursuing the.
No, okay, then you are. You cannot do the Bill Colarulo thing.
If Nick Sirianni decided yesterday Saquon Barkley will play, I would have been upset with the decision. I would have watched the game on Sunday, and if he broke the record, I would have tipped my cap.
Okay, you either support going for the record or you don't. There's no middle ground.
I don't know if it's that black and white.
Yeah, you either support them going for it, knowing the risks involved, and you clearly put them out very well, or you don't support.
All right, well then I guess I don't support it then. Then I hope he never rushes for 2,000 yards ever again in his career. That's what you're making it seem like I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not. I'm making it very simple for you. You either support him going for the record, there are risks involved, everybody assumes that, or you don't.
I support Saquon Barkley being healthy for the first round of the NFL playoffs.
I would love to see the Hard Knocks version of you and Connor sitting in a room individually with Saquon Barkley and saying to him, nah, Saquon, I know what's best.
I'm the head coach, brother.
I know what's best. No, I want to just see you do it.
No, but I would be the head coach in this situation.
No, I want to see it not as a head coach. Have the conversation.
And then he could keep on saying to me that I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'd say, all right.
I don't think he'd say that, though. I think he's a
Hello,
good man.
Mr. Saquon.
Yeah.
We're going to rest you.
I'd say, look, him one, Mike Missanelli, a begrudging 1A. Best things to come out of Penn State. That's it. I'll give.
I could see those things.
Begrudgingly, I'll have to give them their due on those two.
See those things. All right, that was the Kincade Salciunas Key 3, brought to us by Von C. Brewing Company in Norristown. Check out their Key 3, the OG Pills, legendary Philly Lager, a gold medal winner at the 2023 World Beer Cup for Best American Pilsner. So we had Von C in 23, we had Joel Embiid in 24. Good gold medal years for the Philadelphia market. Walking on Clouds, which is Von C's flagship hazy IPA, and he's back.
And the Vienna Lager, the two-time Best of Pennsylvania winner. I just flew in from Vienna this morning.
Oh, that's where you were.
I did. I was there. All the German ingredients, I had to check on them.
Did you tell them about the Von C?
I did, and I carried some of the German ingredients, and I dropped them off in Norristown earlier this morning.
Well, they don't need the German ingredients. They got their own.
Well, they got German ingredients.
If anything,
I
Germany you should have brought the Vienna Lager to Germany to let them know.
They know. They know all about Von C. Check out VonCBrewing.com.
Absolutely. Love you guys.
They're awesome.
Von C. All right, one more to give away here. Let's give away one more pair of tickets for the Philly Auto Show and the variety box of Wise Snacks. Call 215-263-0975. First caller will get the pair of tickets to the Auto Show, which begins January 11th through the 20th at the PA Convention Center. And, of course, the main prize, the variety box of Wise Snacks, which is perfect for this upcoming weekend. Munch the good vibe on game day with Wise Snacks. By the way, you probably spent so much money on holiday gifts and food and all that kind of stuff. It'd be nice to get a free box of snacks.
And we're talking box.
Yes.
This isn't some chintzy bag.
No, you're not coming here for a bag. You're getting the whole box.
No, this is awesome. Hey, support life-saving cancer research. Join us and our generous partners, FT Young Heating and Air Conditioning, and make a donation to the AACR, the American Association for Cancer Research. You can do it at 975thefanatic.com/AACR because cancer research saves lives. And we talked about this off the air this morning, Andrew. We are totally in Camp Mert.
Absolutely.
Camp Jason Mertidis in his battle against cancer. Had a chance to catch up with Mert a little bit over the holidays.
Yep.
And we both, and everybody here at the station, is along with Jason on this battle.
Yeah.
And he's a stubborn son of a, as I'm going to tell you, and you know that from working with him.
Yeah, I owe a lot of my success to Jason.
Cancer's got no shot against Jason Mertidis.
Kick its ass, Jason.
You got it, buddy.
Kick its ass. All right, great to have you back, Johnny.
Good to have you back.
Sorry that you have to wake up back.
You weren't gone. Well, some of the days.
I was there. I was
Connor and Brendan were here all the time.
They were the real troopers.
They were here.
But back-to-back 4 a.m.
Friday
alarms.
tomorrow.
Football Friday. That's the beauty of this
Yeah, that's
week.
beautiful.
Because we're done again.
I'm here.
How about that?
I'm here.
Everybody have a great rest of your day. Mike Missanelli Show comes your way next right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.